fucking great.
Yeah, it's really nice to see a lot of the that are making the things work for those fraggers to come in and sweep the lobby. But it's so nice to see them come into their own limelight as well. You've got Rifus coming in, some really good angles, some really good hits, great shots. He's doing very well. He's getting into that MVP position, and that's just making Alpha Gaming that much stronger.
Let's get to it then. Sandhawk is on the cards for our first game of the day. Will the Assassins come at the two kings at the top here for our first match? Let's head over to the
PMWC here live in Saudi Arabia at the Esports World Cup. We started so long ago on Sandhawk, and of course this will be the beginning of the end for these teams today. So close to that smash rule coming into effect, and as Barney Banks said,
in APG and Yangon Galacticos sitting high upon those thrones. Can those teams underneath dismount them? Like Kale says, it's a wonder here, but we're getting Sandhawk to start things off in just a short moment. No smash ruling will come effect on this first match. It's all about getting over that match point.
That's what we're working with. We'll keep you up to date as things flow, as the teams start to show us what they're made of today. But all you can do, if you're watching at home or in the arena here live, give these teams your energy. Make some
A slice from a katana. Which one of these teams will be sharp enough in this game to get on above of that match point at 128 and take this whole tournament home? Or will we go all 6 maps today? We can only wait and see as all the teams get out of the plane and situated on this match. It looks like Power and Fourth Rise are not done on their duel up towards Hattin.
It's been a fitting name for Power because it has been a power struggle between these two teams. It's happened again and again. We'll see if they actually learn and have some reservations. Obviously, the first time it was Power that pulled it off. Second game, it was Fourth Rise that came out on top. And this time, they both call it quits on the adjustment drops.
Smart move from Power here. They know they're in 10th place. Going to push this further. Surprisingly, Fourth Rise are actually over the top of them with 68, but the middle portion of these points is so interchangeable, and the interchangeability does mean massive swings in cash and glory as you head further and further up those tables. We're going to sit ourselves over towards
that has proved so much. And okay, you're kind of making it work, but is the consistency there? Is this sustainable? Is this repeatable? And I mean, all we've had from the playoffs has been a big resounding yes again and again and again.
It's been more of that, please, the entire time for Yangon Galacticos. Their maneuvers have been sound. It has been smart when it needs to be. Some god grenades been sent over the top from this team. No individual player really strikes out either over on Yangon Galacticos. There has been some moments of absolute domination from some of those players in key moments, but it's a different player each time stepping up to the plate to deliver for that squad. And I think that's what makes them so great, is that the players all can perform at such a high level. No one's lagging behind on that team. Everyone's running in lockstep with one another. There's a couple of teams we'll be focusing on this match, and this is one of them right here. It's Weibo Gaming. Currently in 3rd place on 82 points, having a real standout here for their region, with some legendary
Aura, first tag's good. Able to knock the opening man here into the last day of action. Takes down Jiggle, backline for No Fear.
Order goes down.
He's getting these audio cues as well. All about timing for this one. They're giving the game away, but the periphery.
They know that they need big elims on these matches if they hope to catch up to APG as well as Yangon Galacticos.
Establishing shots that were thrown out towards
That's terrifying. That would scare me. That would really scare me. It's like Regnum Kaya now realize that they need
absolutely. Oh boy. You talk Alliance. See if he can catch whiff of anyone's positions and get a read on this.
Gang earlier. This is likely the final ever Sandhawk will cast.
Kind of crazy, man. It's always a fun map. Provides for some very interesting games. But hey, Rondo's looking exciting.
That it is. So we'll make the most of this one. I know it's not any secret, as I say it multiple times, especially the audience at home, that Sandhawk has always been one of my favorite maps and holds a special place in my heart for the chaotic action. And that's what I'm looking for towards the end of this map. To look to secure those match points for certain teams towards the top to set themselves up nicely, to tee themselves off into match 2 and 3.
Weibo, shots down range. It's the RX that are on screen now. We get their POV, nades over the top.
Nice.
So good, right on top of order, and look at the follow-up. The downtime on that is pinpoint. Great communication to get that opening conversion instantly blank. No opportunity to reply.
Yeah, Order wasn't getting away from that no matter what. Even if he tried to crawl inside the rock, those nades would have still done the trick. So Weibo Gaming are forced off of this one, and 3 elims is not enough so far. They need more off the back of this one, and right now they're sandwiched between 4 Thrives, DRX, Horrors underneath them, Team Secrets guarding out towards the west. Smile did move down from Yangon Galacticos over towards a small shack on the south side, which gives them a comfortable position, an anchor point for the rest of the team to drag themselves over towards. But Weibo, they lose Order, they lose Sook. 2 very prominent players on the team are now down. He and 33Z will now need to move off. This is not the game they wanted to start off things with, and like we said, there were so many teams around them.
You're just being pushed from pillar to post as well. It was 4 Thrives that found the stab onto the second player, with Sook being taken out of
towards stage 3, and we'll see where this bad boy ends up, because I think a lot of teams would prefer it not to go down towards Quarry side, where Ida, Arena, as well as Fireflux currently are placed. Much easier prospects over towards this area of the map. A lot of nice little bits of high ground to play around outside of boot camp. APG currently just guarding though for Thunder Talks, who are coming in from that western side. Falcons haven't found a home. Still in the blue, down towards Cave. They have to wait things out. There's a lot of teams that move through Camp Charlie.
Looks like we're getting some Rondo gameplay early, because those bird cages are going to be startled when they make their move over towards the zone. Nonshin Red Force ready for the clash, but we're already thrown into one. There's Falak's unloading. The DBS rattles back over though, and 4 Thrives might come unstuck. You think you finished the job, and T24 has to do it himself from the backline. A messy engagement. Noki's gone. You can at least get that pick-me-up play back over onto Falak, unless another squad pulls up. Regnum Karia as well, being headhunted by SayCloud. That's another point to the tally for Yangon.
Bad start for some of these teams though, Jackie. Weibo down to 1 player and a sliver of HP. DRX out with all 4 players down. Not a lot of eliminations to speak of. The 2 Terrors towards the top, towering over the rest of the lobby. It is the twins in Yangon Galacticos and APG just 1 point apart.
You can feel a bit of a different air with how these teams are approaching it today as well. The importance on each of these points. And for Yangon, the path ahead of them could be found with resistance from Power. A team that have been no strangers to picking up big elimination games here on Sanhok.
APG playing this out very slow at the moment. They know they need to. This game's about getting over match point. And I think for APG, it's a slightly different story for them because it's quite an aggressive team. For Yangon Galacticos, they sort of just need to play their own game. Don't have to switch things up too much playing on the outer edge. But for APG, this is where they'd go to die right now if they're not able to get over that match point early in the day. Yangon Galacticos is able to fix that one for themselves. Right now, I'd say APG is playing a smart game. They're not trying to push too far. They're securing that location on the western side. They do not want to be backstabbed. And this is nice. This is nice. They can certainly play this one. They're keeping it all nice and calm, which is kind of uncharacteristic for that team, but they have been making these adjustments where it's required during these playoffs, and it has been so fantastic to see a more controlled approach for Alpha Gaming.
Yeah, it's been wonderful to watch. And they've been running those more passive games. We've seen that on Sanhok from them. Placements have been huge, and especially at this point, getting those placements, getting into that smash zone, that could be a whole different story. We get the shift on the zone as well. Team Secret, not in a bad spot whatsoever, centered up with some cover to play with.
Emre taking down Redox as Falcons made a quick rotate towards the center of the circle, going for a lot more of these recently. APG trying to move through the circle. This is slightly late. They cleared the western side, but they were bold on their push towards the east. Zhor's already down. Reefus has knocked out the vehicle. Oh, it's a dangerous gambit, Jackie.
It's a very deadly game they're playing. Trying to focus on so many different angles because of where they found themselves trapped. Limited cover to play with. Shots in the backline still coming in from Doxy. Ahead of them, it's he that's also trying to take peaks back over. In the meantime, Aura go out. Seems like Power have kicked off the fight versus Yangon as well. And SayCloud, that one gets stolen away from Regnum Karia, whilst 4 Thrives continue the fight versus E-Arena, and Alpha Gaming just try and find some form of cover.
SayCloud going down. It's very dangerous for Yangon Galacticos considering how strong he's been for the squad. They do get a re-knock, but now Yangon Galacticos down to 2 versus the 3 coming through from Power. Al-Haji is fully flushed out there. So a 3v3 effectively, unless another player goes down, dropping Yangon to just 2. In a similar boat with APG in those moments. Smile gets taken down by Ragnar. A match point might just not be found in this match as Yangon Galacticos are out.
A sigh of relief from many other teams in the lobby with Power pulling off that play. Their eyes lighting up as they see the Elim feed starting to fill with Yangon's name. But for Alpha, the journey continues. Continues, fragmented though, down to the two players, just Doc and Reefus that are trapped apart from one another. Bullets out from Reefus onto the back of Doc C. He's trying to take the peaks on this.
Tough game now for Alpha Gaming with just the two players. This is really rough. Reefus hits the deck also. This is Alter Ego, almost about to lose Krypton at distance from Tizzy. Out in the blue. You'd be furious. If you're Alter Ego, this was a very, very good opportunity for them to catch up in the rankings.
For Nonshin, I don't think this will be a Dr. Dre play. They won't forget about Doc trapped in behind the rocks. Via Flux taking the head-to-head versus Regnum Karia with a third party from Team Secret as well. Tizzy has already shown us how much turmoil he can cause in this lobby with the shots over onto Krypton of Alter Ego. You get the replay here of a very important fight as well. That was Power versus Yangon that resulted in them going out.
Alter Ego's doing great work. Moana with a big nade. Hits the double. Alva's been taking some nice shots from Alter Ego, and that's outside in the blue, making the most of this zone, but he knows he's got to get back in because just like that, the play zone was doing a huge amount of damage. I think he just about made it through, but that's another great nade from Tizzy over towards Rosemary, leaving them down to just the one player. Where is that nade going? Got no more left now, wasn't able to confirm over towards Rosemary. Alva's back up on his feet. Moana's dropping the smokes.
Tizzy's trying to get in close range. Wants to put the shot into good use. Tag from the side. Alva gets a visual on him. Nade up from the teammate. Good peek back in. It's Binny in the back that hits heavy with the DBS. You're going for the pickup. The car drives by. Moana runs into the barrel and goes down. See you later, Alter Ego.
Almost all of our big ticket teams are down now. Regnum
get you a little bit clammy in the hands. Reefus has 4 nades of his own to reply with. Casts one in close. Vinny rocks over. They can play off one another. That's the manpower advantage they have. And Reefus, he's on an island. The nade bouncing over the top as well. Reply with the molly to force him out of position. He's being burnt, cooked in position. They just need to get close to finish him.
Gets tagged by the flames as well, and that will be Reefus going down here. Now just Doc, the big man himself. 27 elims during the playoffs. It is a massive result for a singular player here. Can he hold his own? At least get themselves some more points going into the next match to make that match point slightly easier. For Yangon Galacticos, it's 8 that they need to breach in our first angle of the day, and Doc's out, and it's Power of all the teams to make it happen. Making these games interesting, taking down both Yangon and APG, the Giant Slayers.
Heavy is the hand from Power today, as they are running through these teams. They take the fight to 4 frags from distance as well. Confidence to split. It's Easy that was able to strip Falak out of the competition.
4 frags not doing too badly on this match. 9 eliminations. Good result for them. Nice shot through from IQ. Once again over towards Easy, being left behind as Vahiden has to wrap back round again to wrap Vahiden with bandages. Get Easy back up on his feet as quickly as possible because this blue is starting to push in and it hits hard. That might be both of them going down. In fact, Vahiden's very lucky to get out of there as quickly as he did.
Had me scared, man. The drive through the blue, the wide turning circle. The play zone still going to nip at the heels of Easy as well. So it's starting to go south for Power bit by bit. 4 frags taken to pieces as well. Team Secret engage on top of them. Nonshin Red Force just watching, biding their time. You've got the 2-player push-up close towards the Falcons that are catching whiff of this.
Cole and Ralph. Deadly duo here. The IGL. And the slayer of squads, Koa himself. Good nade up from Zizzy. More Molotovs thrown through, just delaying what Falcons can do here. The blue's going to force them out into unfavorable engagement between them. There's a car coming in.
Nice. Team Secret having a bit of a scout on that one. See if they want to commit to it. Zizzy on the peek up, only able to grab one. The boa constrictor himself poises. Hits back.
No!
Oh, straight into the nade. And goodbye, Falcons, as Team Secret shut them down. Power are still in play, but of course, it's only that duo that remains alive right now.
Team Secret whispering death in the ears of these other teams. A nade over the top, it looks to go fairly long, bounces over the top, a huge amount of damage off the back of that one. No team is inside the circle. Nongshim Red Force taking this time to move out towards the south side and get some big angles. Another nade up towards the backside of Power there, should be going down now. Ragnar attempts to deny the points, but it's slightly late. It's Team Secret up against Nongshim, a 3v3.
So many wide open sight lines to work with. Zizzy realizes he's got to get up close and provide some cover for himself, but it's an instant connection. First man falls, leaving only two. They can't play to get him back up. They've got to focus on the crosshairs instead.
That will be Nongshim Red Force taking the first chicken dinner of the day. What a fantastic result for them. I mean, to be quite frank, from their region, Nongshim Red Force plays extremely strange throughout this entire tournament. It's a whole different style because we're used to very defensive kind of plays from that region overall. But Nongshim Red Force shows us a completely different, deadly, angry side from that team.
We've seen them running headfirst into danger time and time again. And this is another one of these games where they come out swinging. Exciting stuff though, with Power causing that struggle in the lobby, taking the fight to the teams that are so close to that point barrier and making it uncomfortable, giving other squads a chance now.
They've just painted a target on their back.
Oh yeah.
Power's made some very powerful enemies in this game. But I don't think they'll be stopping anytime soon. I like that they're just playing these games out with not a care in the world. They just want more points on board. But the same can be said for a lot more teams. Getting towards their angle. No team on match point just yet.
I'ma get Cybertron's future is near.
smoke win to get them into day number 3 of the grand final here for PMWC, but also those top teams shut down to start off day number 3. Joining me, Neptura, as well as Max Man, to talk about this one. Max, Nongshim Red Force, actually, we spoke about it at the beginning of the day. These wins for these teams, even if they're not able to challenge for number 1 by the end of the day, this is still big wins potentially for these teams.
If you get the top 5 at the end of today, you're going to make big money at the end of this one. So of course, they had a ton of eliminations, get the 10 placement points. We'll have to see when the leaderboards pop up to see how much of an increase they really got. But Nongshim Red Force, if there's any point in time you want to get a win, it's right now, especially on the very last Sanhok of this year currently when it comes to globals. So that's going to be a very impactful one for their team.
21 points go their way. Team Secret gets 13. 4 Thrives has come alive once again, but Nongshim Red Force here, Neptura, to focus on the winners here for a moment. They had the compound, and they had some great transitions afterwards. Yeah,
I really liked how they played this, actually. You saw them take advantage of, in that zone, in the mid-game, one of the only easy entry points that circle had to offer. They actually had a split down onto the southwest side, blocking that entry point. You know, APG do come through.
These teams try and play catch up.
No, definitely. Only the 2, only the 1. So we will see a little bit of an opportunity here for the rest of this lobby to really do something about it. Again, it's it's an almost insurmountable try and catch up to where they are currently here, Neptura. But we've seen crazier things, like, for example, Alter Ego in a group stage day, right? 78 points on a day. So some of these teams are very capable of huge point games.
Right, they are, and Alter Ego actually didn't have too bad of a game in that Sandhawk, so it is going to be interesting to see those names coming in. But
which one? What are you looking at?
Sandhawk numbers, right?
Not quite what we see. Nongshim Red Force like to have a central compound. We wait, we chill, we get the points, we go the western side, getting involved versus Alpha Gaming, versus the side of Alter Ego, trying to also third-party fights on the southern side. I think it was against Falcon. They were so involved, they're hungry for that massive prize pool increase in the leaderboards.
They're actually being proactive for once, which so far we've not seen from them at all, but you're right. You know, they're sweeping that southwest side, they're moving on to Alter Ego, they're clearing that team, they're moving back down to the south side. It did get a little bit hairy. I thought they took a little bit too long. They slowed right down up against Falcons, but once that was cleared, they were able to take advantage of this fight happening to regroup and then spread out again over the south side and able to take that chicken.
Yeah, I was going through the replays. I think one very important thing that needs to be stated about Nongshim Red Force is they were using the rocks to their full advantage. They were getting so many angles, and of course when you're looking at Team Secret, you're looking at power. They're going downhill, they only have a few trees. If you have the off angles, there's really not much these teams can do against you. So Nongshim Red Force had a great map knowledge here at the end of this match.
Also a little bit of a dichotomy between a lot of their previous wins and this one, right? Because this one wasn't just sitting in a compound and waiting for the game to come to you. This was a bit more proactive from Nongshim Red Force.
It was. It was really nice that they took the zone rather than have the zone hand.
How close it is between all of those teams. Now again, 2 points are barely shifted. Maybe an opportunity to try and catch up with them, but still all eyes will be focused on that position.
Yeah.
Wait, so I want to jump on this one. 4 Thrives also jumping up. They were initially in 8th position, if I'm not mistaken, with 68 points. Also pretty big jump. We said it top 5.
Nice.
Prize point increase is significant for Pakistan. This first game was an absolute banger.
That'll be 100,000 or 110. I'm not quite sure. I'm not without me checking it right now, but yeah, big jumps are still very.
Is that if I was APG, if I was Yangon after that game, I would be concerned because those third to 6th teams all placed there, they were the ones who stepped up massively in this game. 4 Thrives, WBG were there. You had Nongshim Red Force as well, right? All those teams right behind starting to step up. What do we see in Erangel?
Well, let's look at it. Well, let's see who's been able to perform so far. Yangon Galacticos up at number 1 here for our Erangel so far. Weibo, though, Max, you've had your eyes on them to be able to do something.
Oh yeah, their angles have been so good, but they just get a little bit too hyper-focused on specific fights. If they can see the bigger picture, possibly here, they can try and rise up to the occasion, actually start breaching that top 2 position. The prize point increase would also be quite significant getting into that top 2, but way rise up in the leaderboards.
For them, I'd also like to see them actually take a few better angles. I think they split up quite effectively, but I want to see a few more alter ego angles coming into that. I want to see that influence because I think those angles are so beneficial.
Anticipation at the storyline starting to build, but we appreciate you switching over to us so we can give you the breakdown. Of course, if you want to stay up to date in your own way and follow all of the action, head on over to the official map feed so you can check it out and follow it exactly how you'd want to, with a full lay of the land. And you'd need it blank, because we are at the precipice of greatness for so many teams. Of course, though, because of that man on your screens and the incredible power roster taking the fight to our top dogs, they were starved out from being able to break into that 128 barrier.
I want to keep tabs on these teams 100% because right now there is certain jump ups which, like Max says, are worth a whole lot of money. Nongshim Red Force, they can stay up towards the top of those tables. Might have just salvaged their performance here in the playoffs.
They very well might have, but it's time once again. Glue your eyes to your screen, strap yourself in with those seat belts that you're gonna need, and keep your arms inside of this.
Points down to 77 in 10th place. We've got triple 77s across the board from Regnum, Kaya, Power, and Ida here. Oh, it's nasty. It's real nasty.
A lot of 7s, but will they be lucky? That's the question. Or will it be the wrath for some of our top players back out, proving they're the top dogs in the lobby again today? Doc has been living up to the name. It has been surgically clean.
3 players that we talked about a lot here, Doc, Rosemary, Falak, all putting on a performance of a lifetime in this one. Daybot with a 405 meters. I think that's breaking the record. Crazy stuff coming through. Nongshim Red 4 straight down towards the south side, looting around yellows. Falcons as per usual in Pochinki. But check out this circle, heading directly southeast into the uncomfortable trees, the dead woods. Will these teams be able to get themselves out alive though? And across that match point barrier, not possible for teams in 3rd and 4th place at the moment. down towards Sosnovka military base. They're fully committing for this one. I think that maybe in different times they wouldn't go for it. Forthrights are at their back though, so they need to get a move on, get sprinting at the moment. But if they can get down towards Sosnovka, they can make a comfortable rotate over towards that eastern bridge. We'll see if anyone tries to hold them out, but likely Thundertorps are going to hold in Milter. Some nice shots over towards top, who does have to drop down, takes a bit of damage from that leap as well. This is a slightly sad start, but it should get better, unless Forthright tries to get involved in this one.
It'd be a risky maneuver from to full commit, full stand, hop behind the wheel, put the
Gym for them.
just constantly trying to get out of there. Keep their noses clean, but already some obscene plays thrown into the mix. Nonshin Red Force up against Fireflux there. Cat being able to find one of those for free.
I'll tell you what, as much as some of the plays from Nonshin Red Force have very much frustrated me in the past, I do respect that no matter what, they're just going to keep giving it. They're going to keep being aggressive. They're not changing anything. And I think that's a mindset that can really affect you going into the finals, where you want to play passive, you want to get those points, you want to get placements on board. But for Nonshin Red Force, fair enough. Some of these engagements, some of these fights, you're gonna mess up. Origo started off pretty quickly on that last game, looking to do it again here. They get themselves down into a nice position on that southeast side. Sadly, Regnum Kaya will lose a player off the back of that. But they're no strangers to these types of circles. Usually do have a fair amount of success on them. Losing a player at this stage of the game does hurt them though.
Power versus Thundertorps. Okay, Power. Let's see if the energy levels are still carrying on from the prior.
Play easy. He's attempting to get out of there. Bullets raining on the vehicle, but not quite hitting their mark.
I'm surprised he was actually able to get out there so confidently. I mean, you've just crashed straight into him, no follow-up from it. He gets away, and obviously for Regnum Garia, you're at a disadvantage fight. That would have at least been an equalization in the battle of attrition. If they took down easy, it would have been a 3 versus 3.
They could have probably pulled that game out a little bit longer. I think for Yangon Galacticos, though, as well as APG, they're
screen here as well. DRX. Again, another team that was looking relatively impressive. Second in the previous game. See what they can do here. It's Saycloud that's just off in the distance, and Bernard that gets contact. Few shots fired in towards the vehicles, trying to trace them down. Hefty chip.
Not a bad shot towards Jake. He has to switch vehicles though, knows that that buggy is not long for this world. We'll just heal up using the bandies. The Yangon Galacticos similarly in a rough scenario where we're heading over towards stage 2. They've not quite found themselves over towards the circle just yet. We're waiting for that shift because if it is down towards Milt Power and Milt away, suddenly becomes very, very hard for a lot of these teams that are rotating in late to get too much success off the back of it. APG's just been sitting pretty down towards military base this entire time.
Power as well. Seems like Al Haji is swiftly getting handled, and you get the follow-up onto Fahidan. So already you're able to strip them down to just 2 players on power. Easy sprints into the building. Oh, good for the first with the DBS, but Ketch replies straight back.
Easy was locked in there. You see the way he was moving? See if he was inside the matches. Power is now forced to send away with just Ragnar on side. This was a horrible shift on the circle back up towards the northwest, but gives a great opportunity now for Yangon to play out a smooth game.
A lot that can be done for this team. For Fireflux, she'll take all the bells and whistles that come with that nice crash over onto Power as well.
To be honest with you.
They get some solid reviews though. Ratings would be through the roof of how they've been playing.
On at prime time. It is exciting watching Nocturne Red Force. APG finally making this move. Like I said, they got a loot crate delivered to them, which was awesome. Ida is holding though. It's a smart maneuver from Ida. One that might just pay off, especially if they are confident that APG is going to be moving through late, which possibly means here that APG is going to have to wait on the outer edge. Top goes for something very aggressive. They're going to try and swipe right over towards the beachhead and deny those sight lines. And Ida has absolutely nothing to say about it.
Yeah, it looked like they were clued into the situation. We're going to hold this in a nice crossfire, but instead you kind of leave one man out. Oh, and it's lonesome and dark here. To jump in the back of the buggy and try and make a quick getaway from it, link up with the rest of the squads. They're not at a disadvantage, but you get over the bridge and back onto the mainland now.
Back over towards the east. Prison as well as Shelter. Limited cover in some of these areas. Prison does set yourself up nicely over towards the rocky outcrops and the high ground, but no one's really sending into Prison unless it's a absolute depth.
Well there versus Fireflux.
Yangon Galacticos going for a wide wrap up towards prison side. I think it's a smart maneuver as well, Jackie, all things considered, because they know a lot of teams must have shifted back up over towards the northwest and might have left those areas a little bit more dry in terms of players. It's a bit of a bold maneuver, but with the information you have, it's probably the best informational play you can go for at this stage of the game, especially if you're just trying to stay quiet and get over that 128-point mark. How is he not down?
Damn. Tries to get the quick connection off. Rapid peek in. Great follow-up, and that's how Thunder Talks get removed. So that's that first squad falling now. We get our answer.
Thunder Talks out. I mean, they've just not had the greatest of playoffs, really. In 36 points, the bottom of the tables. DRX, though, comfortably will hold on to that one around Milter, but they've got further to go. And here's APG, in fact, looking to get the toothpick out and clean out the remainder of the a crazy maneuver. I get that, you know, he has teammates that can come in, but what we're going to do, another teammate comes through, get peaks, almost goes down. Potentially might have had 3 players going down there, losing durability on helmets and vests. Just get your boy up, all right? Top's probably shouting at him, like, just res me. Like, that's all I need right now.
First on the drive-by inside of that hovercraft, all the bullets smashing into it. He's getting torn to shreds as well. So many squads having vision onto him.
Very, very overzealous maneuver. I don't quite know what was going on in his head at that moment in time. I know they want to get into the circle, but you've got bare information going into it. There's plenty of players they consider around those hilltops as well. I suppose he thought he could get further in the hovercraft, but there was some serious team shots onto that vehicle, and I know that a lot of players hate how that hovercraft can get players and teams into pretty notable areas of the map. So as soon as they see it, they see red.
And this to me is starting to look a little bit like Alpha coming into this one, maybe quite antsy today. Some of the decision making, the way they're jittering a little bit. Feels like the nerves might be there, the pressure that could potentially be put on them and from the environment we're in here on Smash Sunday.
It's always so Yangon as well as APG. Not sure what happened there with T24 and IQ, but especially for Yangon and APG. They were so far ahead, it doesn't matter. They just need to play. Max's nade of the day right there.
Yeah, max a minimum on that one. We'll forget about that. Focus up on this. Nonshin Red Force versus Fireflux. Throwing out fists inside of the building. Close quarters engagements with that third party of DRX trying to get a look in as well and see if they can snatch points from this. So we do lose out on Scarface. Matcap goes down, so the Fireflux cleaned out on this one. Alter Ego with the read over on the side. It's Krypton that's quick to the hit. So with Hyunbin falling, DRX starting to lose some manpower as well.
Yeah, more shots going through. Great rotate from APG, by the way. They saw this fight break out between DRX, Nongtrim Red Force, and Fireflux. That was their direct competition on that north side. They used that moment to swing round to the west. So I really enjoyed that coming through from APG. don't even want to think about what happened in the Four Thrives camp. I think they're quite frustrated with what just occurred.
Yeah, that is a comedy of errors that you will be very quickly clambering to forget. Meanwhile, though, you're going to be having your eyes light up if you're a fan for Yangon, as they're in with 3 eliminations off the back of that.
Oh, getting a replay. Don't show us the replay. Oh, no. I'm glad they at least didn't show us the Molotov as well. Dear me. Yangon, though, that is 3 separate teams they've been involved on. It was Team Secret, Ida, as well as Alter Ego, and they just keep going. They just keep going on that one.
At this point, even just off elims alone, I mean, only 4.
Ground that Prison affords you on that eastern side. They knew they were lacking information, and they're coming in from that northwest, so they change up the game and they use the play map as well as the circle that came through to identify an area on the map that might be a little bit more open. They can start to develop that intel.
The Arena Gladiators swinging and showing us they're handy with steel up against Team Secret, but the clap back from the hillside is Yangon that try and get a spot down and see if it's worth.
All Yangon Galacticos really need to do now is just send a couple of shots, a couple of bee stings down towards E Arena and keep them locked down.
It's not just that Yangon are playing well. Oh, it's that Alpha obviously having a real struggle of a game as well. I mean, it's just Shoal now. You have the sideline shots that came in from Falcons as they were trying to make their way over. So it's just down to the solo man.
Again, another game where likely APG is not making it over the match point. Rests on the shoulders of Yangon. Should get at least 4 points off the back, or at maximum 4 points off the back of the arena, as Moment will be stolen away by Horror. That could have been right there, right then. If they took out the entirety of E Arena, Yangon would have.
Also looking to see if they can snatch away some points from this.
Falcons actually not playing a terrible game right now over towards the south side. They are roaming, they are making sure they keep track of a lot of the players coming through. The circle will start to push E Arena in. Now for Yangon Galacticos, this is less of a matter about battling against E Arena and more of a case of battling against Horror stealing away these eliminations.
It's Myrna and SayCloud that have basically just had to prevent anyone sneaking in from the backline, whilst the raw focus from Romeo and co is just thrown down the hill onto E Arena. They're finally getting what they were building into on this one. Converting those knocks into full eliminations, take down the squad, mop them up, and keep those elims building. 7 elims, 1 single point away from beating the 128 barrier now.
So Yangon Galacticos
fragment the Falcons, leave them in a position where potentially they can start to take the fight to them. Silas rocks over as well, makes his rotate in the back of the buggy, looks for the peek up. They might have got the pick me up, sure, but can they still hold on to this ground?
Falcons looking over towards Silas, who backs straight back in towards the buggy, hits the deck. Smile with 4 elims on the side of Yangon Galacticos and looking not to let that kind of pace let up anytime soon. He wants to keep on pedaling. Myrna. Now sights over towards Wild.
Over from 4 Fribes. Oh, Tosh pick. Goes for the peek out, but it doesn't work. Narvalo quick hits that one back. Storm hits onto Falak T24. Trying to scrap back, but not much that can be done as Koa will restrict and remove the potential for any comeback for T24 and Koa on that one. So goodbye 4 Fribes. Unfortunately, the Falcons might have finally come unstuck. Shots down on the 3 of the players. Only
Sleepy gets lucky there on that bounce, didn't he?
for Yangon, the job is done of all they wanted to establish on this one, pushing past that 128 barrier and making it to the match point for the smash rule. Their focus now on how far can they go in this game. Strike fear into the other squads with how they've been playing.
Yangon, Romeo's down, and they're going to send in with SayCloud. No fear will be taken out. But they need another game after this one with a chicken dinner. Sky, though, from Horror, putting in the work, and Weibo still holding on that south side, Jackie.
Good shot from Sky, dear me. Really crisp stuff. Yangon have finally met their match in Horror with how they've been able to play. Wide open angles and quick shots from Sky. Murnat, though, frustrated, wants to grab even more points for them, push further up the standings, and leave these squads knowing that if you come to the best, you better be able to strike them down.
Weibo needs to get moving, though. Like, this is a fight that they could capitalize off the back of. Yangon needs to push up the hill, and Weibo's...
They've both got so much utility to work with here as well. In a position to provide themselves some better sight lines, get those smokes down. Side of the vehicle. Hit heavy by order. There goes the first man.
It's good timing as well. The circle starts to push in. Brilliant timing. In fact, they can delay as much as possible. Will make life very hard for Yangon.
And Power. Of course, it was Ragnar that was left as the solo.
Weibo can set their sights completely over towards Yangon Galacticos. They have a man advantage, but positioning is not great for them.
Surprised SayCloud was able to keep himself alive. He dived in behind the tree in the loot crate. There's a nade that's going to be cast towards his position, but he's topped himself back up. The heal comes through in the nick of time. Meanwhile,
in this game, they'll shoot themselves up towards the century mark, over into the 100, set themselves up for later on in the day.
So much riding on this for that team. We've been singing the praises of Order. But him and he are a lethal unit. And at the minute, with that knock that came over onto Romeo as well, they've got a great advantage into this one. That's the full confirmation. Burn them down to just 2 players. Still, so much utility left to work with. That's been a difference maker for this team.
Smart plays here for 3Cs. He takes down Burnout, slowly pushing up, and another goes down. And Weibo will find themselves the second chicken dinner of the day. But the big storyline is Yangon Galacticos. They have crossed the line.
That match point smash rule coming into effect. That's what they were hoping for on this outing. And Weibo, it is huge for them, like you said. The difference of being able to vacuum up these points, put themselves into a position where if they keep playing stalwart throughout this day, they could have a chance at the title. It's all to play for, but the intensity that will be building going into game 3, Blank, the action is going to be palpable in that arena.
The bowstring is pulled taut right now for Weibo. And they're hoping to keep that tension in place to accentuate that gameplay. You look towards this team, they're pretty strong, but I think Yangon probably quite happy they didn't get the chicken dinner. It feels bad, hard trying to get the second. Let's wait for the third match today over at Arundel. In the meantime, we'll be heading back over to the desk.
Level up your gaming experience with over 8 billion playlists, only on Spotify, the official audio streaming partner for the 2025 Esports World Cup.
potentially challenge 2 coming into day number 3 here of our grand finals. Weibo is able to get themselves even more points to try and make that catch-up a reality here for the grand final. Joining me to talk about this one, Seven, as well. So not Seven, he's backstage. Go away, Seven. Okay, I'm on the brain. Max, he's behind the couch. Maxman as well as Neptura to talk about this one. Neptura, good to see this team be able to step up here on Erangel to try and make that catch-up happen.
This game was so classic WBG. I feel like they go center, they go mid, and then as the zone pushes them to the edge, they end up starting to sweep teams. They kind of wait for other teams actually to sweep each other before coming in the final few moments, and that's exactly what we saw them do here, right? Landing, or not landing, but going to shelter, rotating to shelter, being able to get elim after elim, basically halfway to that smash point.
They get the elims, they get their ticket in the smash zone.
So we got to focus on that a little bit more, because now there is a world where if they win the next game or any subsequent game with no other team in that smash zone here, Neptura, Galacticos, Yangon Galacticos will be our champions here. And after putting up 17 points, as soon as they realize, I think, that they're over the hurdle, they know that that game is just, well, let's just get a limb here or there. Let's just try and set ourselves apart from APG even a little bit more. So big stuff here for the tournament.
So far it's working, right? APG just not able to get the points that they need to make sure that they're closer to Yangon than they are. So for Yangon, they're like, hey, we're actually sitting really, really pretty. I do want to say they got a second place, not a win. They didn't get the win curse before the smash point coming in. So they didn't win this one. Maybe they'll win the next one.
The other team, though, up at the top, obviously APG. I initially want to make the point, Max, and then you can continue on, because I am of the belief if you're a military-based team, you have to have a drop-up spot. And to watch them try and run over the bridge and dodge bullets and all this stuff, it's not enough when you're on the hunt to try and make something happen. What do you make of it?
It's like talking to a wall, Kalaris. We've been doing it during PMSL CSA. You drop, it might take 2, maybe 3 matches before they even get there.
I think with Weibo getting this win, it couldn't have happened in a more perfect way here, Neptura, because now we came into today thinking 2-horse race, absolutely. However, if Weibo suddenly just pops off once again, we're right there. 3-horse race here for day number 3.
I mean, it is crazy that Alpha Gaming could look directly behind them and then watch as Weibo Gaming actually surpass them in that race, because they're performing far better than Alpha Gaming are. And I slightly hate that there's a world where Alpha Gaming could get this close again and only get the MVP.
That's the second place curse for some of their players. Top is well acquainted with that position. He loves the second place. But it's unfortunate for me, when you look at Smash Roll, it forces team in a situation they're just not comfortable with. And here, I think Alpha Gaming are just completely crumbling under that pressure, not really sure how to make that ascent at the top.
Weird, because especially considering what we were talking about in the pre-show, right? Technically, this team should be able to handle the pressure. Again, if you have a backup drop, Yangon Galacticos has gone for backup drops on Erangel. Well, technically, right? Because obviously, they had a lot of Novo drops throughout the tournament so far, but they've gone to those Georgia Hall crates, Neptura. They've been able to capitalize on that. The wide wraps have looked fantastic for them, and they get beyond the smash zone.
Yes, they do. It's really, really nice to see them be able to do that. They seem to just have this knack for knowing what is the best entry point in a zone, right?
To make that one happen. But at this stage of the game, with only one team on Smash ruling, it's where things get a little bit more spicy, where teams might even just try and dogpile on Yangon. They're elusive. They're in the night, in the shadows. They're hard to find a lot of times. Great team when it comes to hide and seek. and a lot of teams will be seeking. And we just got the countdown down to 0 here on our match 3.
And for Power today, seeking fights has been something they are no strangers to whatsoever. Feels like they have been throwing carnage at so many teams and causing issues for some of our top squads. And that very central position right now up against some other teams that love an early scrap. We'll see if they can find an opportunity. For Joker, maybe there's an opportunity just over this ridge, down on his belly right now, looking for the sight line with the AUG to play with.
6x as well, so he's got the distance, he's got the range. Cloud sends out, leaving just one player behind. Smile already rotated back across to Romeo. Bernat's still looting, but might just be a casualty for Yangon. Finally gets in the buggy, and by the time Joker is moving out, he may just be long Yangon.
Saved by the bell. They didn't even realize was ringing. Mernat's rotate will keep him at play. He can link up with the rest of the squad, and the advanced position from Romeo has not been forced out either. So they can link back up with a loot to play with. Look at how many teams are bustling towards one another as well. A lot of squads that love those fights. Alter Ego, no strangers as well to throw in their hat into the middle.
Longshin Red Force, a little bit of a wild card inside of this circle. Never sure when they're about to strike, when they're about to send a blazing wide swing at you. A real haymaker of a team is that squad. When they come a knocking, you better be ready to open that door, or at least bar it shut.
Yeah, the barricade would be preferable. How Nonshin have been playing. I'll throw the C4 on the door, and anyone in the building won't be breathing no more if you give an opportunity to Doxy. Vinny and Tizzy as well have been a very lethal duo, and lethality is shown here from Hora. The first punch is thrown out. Hyunbin gets an opportunity to strike back versus the Falcons again as well.
An aggressive rollout here from DRX over towards Pachinki early, and I don't think the Falcons were quite prepped for it. A lot of times people just leave them alone inside of Pachinki, but with points being so close to one another and big jumps meaning big money, you'll take the advantage from wherever you can, especially on the last day where this is the penultimate Erangel match that we have for ourselves. You're going to pull out all the stops going forward. See Yangon on our screens, the picture in picture. You can see how focused these players are.
I think that's been the interesting thing, right? You know, we were talking about the reaction times way back at the start of the day today, but just the laser focus you see from the body language, that human element of PUBG Mobile, this team have looked like they are here to play. They've been limiting mistakes, focused up mechanically and with communication. That's what's setting them further away. That's what's bringing that skill ceiling higher and higher.
Slightly weird one, because the way the circle sits at the moment, it does force Yangon into a different style of gameplay, where usually they would be out on the edge here, but the circle favors them, so they have to play something a little bit more different, hold their angles on the side. They know E-Arena plays over towards the western area of crates, so they'll have to be prepared for when that team starts to push on in, and they're not in the most defensible positions, playing out in the fields. No compound found as of yet. Heading over towards Zone 2 in just 30 seconds now, which will define the main playing area of the game.
It was fitting, obviously, the Joker was the man that was looking for an opening knock over onto Yangon with the trap that E-Arena had sprung upon them in the previous matchup. So we'll see if they're out to attempt to upset and get revenge here on their rotation.
All right, we got a game on our hands here. Yangon Galacticos get a little bit of that spicy circle look that they have been known for in this playoffs. They've had 2 chicken dinners a day averaging. There's no reason why that statistic should go up or down, but we're expecting at least 1 today. But will it come soon enough to shut this one down early? Have to wait for that. Murnat finding Ralph on the rotate. Falcons now down to 2, and Yangon further solidified their position out in the open.
Playing against Murnat must be so frustrating as well. Feels like he's always buzzing around, stinging at all these squads in the lobby. Quick reaction times. It's been hard to hold him back. And immediately Falcons realize we don't want to mess with the beast.
The boys on Yangon obviously playing out here. There's been no opportunity for more loot, so absolutely dropping that smoke to secure some more of that utility on side. Here's APG down towards the southern edge around the hay bales, chasing over towards Nongshim Red Force. APG probably one of the only other aggressive teams to match Nongshim Red Force. T24 finding Koa, and Falcons again down to just 1.
Topsy-turvy day for 4-5s. And a couple of uncontested eliminations there will at least get them perked up into this game. Weibo on screens. Suk, a human explosive bow that has been ripping and tearing. This is again another talented squad that we've got here. Obviously 3rd place right now, 105 points to play with for them.
Weibo went fairly central on this one, almost immediately. Was not really stopped at all on this push either. A lot of other teams concerned with their placement, with their points. It's a hidden blessing really, where most teams are just looking to get towards that end game because they know that even 3 or 4 placement points could be the difference between tens of thousands of dollars here at the PMWC. So Weibo was able to send in towards that center area of the map with little to no contest.
Potential for that might change though, with teams looking to steal away some of these superior positions. It's the arena that slowly move forward. Of course, just Redux that's left for Falcons as well. That's Solo, the only one that remains alive.
Circle about to shrink. See where it heads. If it heads back over towards Ruins, Yangon Galacticos know roughly that position is okay to play in. They may just send back that way, but it's Regnum Karya moving out from Sunken down towards the southwest, which might be a deadly team to come up against. The talk sending directly from that south side, as are DRX, and it starts to get a little bit crowded inside of this circle here, Jackie.
Space is at a premium. Shoulder to shoulder gameplay between these squads. Rigo taking pot shots over towards Alpha. Meanwhile, Regnum Karya on the drive-by, seeing power all on top of one another. Doc out on his own, a little bit of backup now to play system.
There's a shot. Up that elimination, dropping Regnum Karya down to 3 on a rollout from Sunken, which, to be honest, they had a lot of real estate to work with.
I didn't expect far. They knock Regnum Karya off kilter. They suffer because of it. Oh, Reefus with 7 nades in the backpack, and they are so closely grouped. A big nade on target. Al-Haji will not be al-happy with that one as his legs get blown away. And they've still got more to follow up with.
Yeah, it's a massive nade coming through from APG, but no follow-up just yet. They know how crowded the zone is. Another shot from over towards Alter Ego in Rosemary will return. The rest of the squad, Alter Ego not finding a very fun mark in this match. They attempt to come the eastern side. In the fields, Yangon Galactic a 2-2 split at the moment. Players down towards the south side watching the roads. Romeo inside a compound on the north. Looks like they are going to regroup on top of it now, though, as Loxley starts to get a little bit closer over towards Power.
Danger close at the minute. Nades on top. Again, the follow-up explosions are good to try and restrict Power. But that one does more than just chip damage. The whole roster getting hit heavy by the mortar strike from Alpha. And even Loxley realizes he wants nothing to deal with this. Tries to get away whilst they crash in to clean up onto the down squad. Shots are clean.
Even Max Man would agree that some of the arcs on those nades were better than arcs from One Piece. Unfortunately, APG fall fairly quickly afterwards as Regnum Kaya continue to put on the pain. They're going to try and get themselves back up on their feet. A bit of triage coming through from Reefus.
Intuition to only benefits them at the minute.
Yangon Galacticos can cleanly clear out both teams in Regnum Kaya and APG. It's a massive result for them. Moana even getting involved alongside with Alva from Alter Ego, who are still up and kicking, and a massive long-range shot over towards Loxley makes Regnum Kaya all the more uncomfortable, and another nade over the top will do the justice from APG.
Good stealaways from Moana, but Alpha, even with this trial and tribulation of a fight that they've had going on for quite some time, they're able to keep all four players alive, and you can see that they're taking the fight to these other squads now. The DRX pulling up. Oh, Maria arrives and instantly hits from the sidelines. Goodbye, Reefus.
Top now in an uncomfortable position. Murnak could even peek over the top, but looks like he's going to send back up towards the rest of the team, realizing that things are about to look not so pretty on the eastern side of the map.
Oh, nades on target. Good connections here. Softening up DRX. It's been huge from Alpha, but they're about to be crashed on up close and personal. If they can handle DRX, they could push themselves up towards that match point, enter the smash zone alongside Yangon. Doc, good with the moves, hits the first, but look who's here. It's Murna, peeking.
It's a long one over towards top, and it hits pretty.
Murna is looking magical with these nades, making Alpha disappear before his eyes, and now he wants to split them in half like a bad magician. Pushes up with Big Papa Pump, unload, but it's a miss. Uncomfortable as they lose a player. One goes down. Murnat removed, but Yangon live on.
Murnat, who had been such a force in this game, to lose him off what felt like a botched engagement. Not able even to pull the trigger. We saw the reticle over the top of top. Dear, dear me.
Yangon instantly on the move. Rotation from fight to fight. Hearts must be pounding in their chests right now. It's T24. The four Fribes representative trapped just apart from the Alter Ego duo and that last man, Redox, that's been causing curveballs for
and it is sidestep it, or at least side crawl it.
I am shocked that he's been able to stay alive off the back of that one. Looked like it was a hell of a slam dunk from Yangon. T24 keeps his head clean, tucks down, tries to stay out of dodge with Redox. Similarly, just slowly crawling around, trying to find some semblance of cover to work with. Still good amounts of utility to work with though over on the side of Yangon. He casts another nade back in, and more chip damage follows through.
Weibo, 105 points at the moment, 4 players alive. One of the big hitters here over in the playoffs. They needed a big chicken dinner on this one if they want to get themselves over towards match point. No elims yet. Means it might be quite difficult. It's 13 eliminations, I believe, that they'd need on this game.
There is never a second where Yangon are not looking for the next opportunity to fight. Oh my, fire flux. Seems like the fire's going to be going out off the damage done from Yangon, but they at least reply for a single knock back onto them. It's SayCloud with very little hate.
I think they understood that as soon as they took down APG, they lost one of their key players in Murnat, looking for some more eliminations on this game. It will be hard to win this one with just the 2 players. And Weibo looking so formidable down towards that south side, not to mention Thunder Talks and Irina still living at large. Sighting got down to feed as players.
Ida being able to put the Bazone to good use. A bit of a push-up on the reshuffle round here, still looking to confirm onto T24. Obviously his position was compromised quite some time ago. Smile could lose his teeth off the back of that, and there's other squads that could dive onto you the second they see weakness here.
Smile's got to move forward, man. Drops the smokes. The Blues pushing him in. Shots coming through, I imagine, from Alter Ego, currently still in ruins. Keeping Yangon on just the one. Will finally take down Redox. Just 1 man alive now in Romeo. Not a love story on this game. There's been plenty of bouts between these teams. Zyol, 6 elims on this match. I mean, Alpha Gaming would have a real result here.
Alpha on the move up. T24 could have a position to actually backstab onto that, cause some issues. That's when you can still take the fight if you're Romeo in a spot like this. And remember, it's not just about trying to close it out with the smash rule. He could still just look to gain additional points for the side, make the differential even further. They could just win it on the long con. Even if it goes all the way to game 6, as long as they're in that top spot, they're going to be happy and walk away crowned.
Yeah, the big thing here is that Yangon just really hasn't changed up their play style, and Yangon will go out. No chance at a chicken dinner, a surprise one at that with a 1 player as we play on. For Weibo, they're looking for as many points as possible. A truly gigantic game needed, but they're in good position to make it happen.
You saw the frustration as well, how focused Romeo was. The slam of the fist down onto the desk. But the brawl in the lobby continues. Alva could not withstand the might of T24. 4 thrives. Even when it's just a solo, they cause issues. Ida being hit heavy as well. Thinning the herd now.
Irina looking up. Weibo took a big hit there up towards He. Not quite down just yet though, but he's on life support. Weibo trying to control this ridge side. Irina do not have to move. But below this ground.
Teams looked. A late circle with having good manpower, 4 of them still being alive. There's so much that could be done. You You get the replay here of the takedown onto Romeo. It was a nice nade from Moana that blew him out of the runnings of ending it right here, right now. So the fight continues. And on our very screens, it's Horror that are being pushed in by Thundertalks. Quick peeks, more damage done. Jiggle out of commission. Sleepy hit from the side of the arena. Sky looking to handle it all on his lonesome now.
Sky hitting some good shots, but it's the arena looking down this way. 18 bullets and the M4. Not a lot of ammunition to take this game further for E-Arena. A nade goes through. Sky's not done yet. But AJ finally put him down there for Thundertalks, down to 2 players. 1 player could be res back up again, but E-Arena keep peeking.
I know there's chances. Seeing if they can grab onto this. Quick peeks in, trying to keep their focus on either side though, with the rotation in for the backline of Weibo. You got Sook scouting out in the vehicle to get a read on the lay of the land as well, but not overextending too far. He can still get back to the squad.
Unfortunately for Weibo now, there is just not enough players in the lobby to even get the eliminations that they need to hit a match point. So good game from Weibo to catch up, but you're still opening the door now for APG and Yangon in that next game. But I respect that Weibo was more looking here for a strong game. They didn't over-egg the pudding. They didn't push too far out. They're just trying to catch up. And this is a difficult scenario a lot of teams get themselves into, is to play scared, to play under pressure and make mistakes in these final moments. But Weibo's playing it calm. They know that even a podium finish is fantastic for them here in the playoffs.
And it's no guarantee, even with those 2 teams being in the smash zone, that they will just end it early. So for Weibo, walking away with another chicken dinner and getting as close to the margin as possible, it would be unreal to set them up for an opportunity to be another horse in that race.
There's absolutely time for this team. K continuing to send shots, ringing down towards E-Arena's position. Get further towards this endgame. Team Secret been very quiet over towards the castle. They'll have to leave those ramparts soon.
Undertalks in the arena, that's been what's taking so much of the attention. But for Weibo, is it finally time to go? They've got the vehicles to work with. Focus back over from Joker. He's a man that's done so much time and time again for this team. He's got backup and the nades are raining over. Chip damage in from Order, looking for the prime on the follow-ups as well. Mormon got to cast further back, find any kind of cover to play with here, top himself up. Order taking a bit of chip damage of his own though. Low at the minute, hops in the vehicle, playing with his mates.
Team Secret send the soldiers out the drawbridge. But let's see if Weibo can draw this fight to an end, or will it be E-Arena standing tall over the top? A lot of damage going through. 33Z has to back this off. Sakura just trying to give that information back, but Team Secret gets ever closer to Weibo. Sook's able to run down T24. Sakura is directly in the sightlines. What is this?
Oh, Sakura! He saw the opportunity to crash with the bonnet and shut down Order. Coming back from Sook, up close and personal. They go for the commit. So closely grouped, the difference of that nade being on target could be incredibly influential for him. 1 left to play with. They're starting to spread themselves out. Good decision making. Pulls out the primary. Bullets down range. Connections are clean. 3Z tries to zip back in from the side.
The fight on 2 fronts, but now Team Secret has to take the fight over towards Thundertalks, who have stormed the castle.
And the siege looks good so far, but the problem is Secret Clan. figures out the shots. The paranoia kicking in, and he going down as Weibo stands strong in the lobby and in the arena. This team is back for blood and proving that they've still got the fight in them.
Weibo once again. It has been a gigantic performance from them, and they are catching up. These teams in the front better breathe heavy right now because they need to get a move on.
The eruption from this team. Do not go anywhere as the action reaches its climax.
Available now. And voice lines. Set comes with its own that can be turned off.
What happened? And oh Earth, I'm here.
Wait. Period through August 26th. What are you waiting for? Get the new guild set now.
어떻게 나는? 나 오른쪽 위로 같이 해줄게. 준비다. 천천히 해. 피킹 안 해도 돼. 앞에 라인 기는 거 조심.
야, 둘 바위랑 이거. 그냥 받아먹으면 돼, 얘들아.
앞에
받아먹으면 돼.
바위
안 내밀어도 돼.
형만 내밀지 마. 삼각바위 하나.
이제 나온다.
삼각바위 계좌. 삼각바위 하나 더.
나이스. 야,
나이스 준호형. 아, 나이스 준호형.
我的意思是说，加着我们俩去左下，懂吗？
可以，知道可以打，知道可以打。再刚刚，那么可以顶着。
我打这个，知道。别急，别急，别急。OK， 有个人要死，我看到一个，我看到能打，
你们别担心。
叫我，叫我，你们冲，他只叫我。
牛逼！还最后一个，我翻上来，就在眼里边。前面，带他。牛逼！
对了，哎，走。
Are we witnessing one of the greatest comebacks in PUBG Mobile history? A back-to-back chicken dinner when they needed it the most here to try and claim that trophy right there. Weibo with another win to get things rolling. They are so close to putting themselves in the smash zone here. Joining me, actually 7 this time, alongside Neptura to talk about this one. Neptura, a back-to-back at this point, in this moment, in this tournament is insane.
Especially the way they've been able to do it. They're not just sneaking in a win here and there. They are taking control of these games, doing what they need to do, and saying, we are here. We are actually that third team that will make that smash point. We are here to actually play. It's so, so nice to see. 8 points coming in, 18 coming into the third game here. 7. Are we looking at next game, them making that point?
Oh, they're definitely going to do it, especially with the way that we're playing. We got to talk about it. This team was just sitting in a compound for the longest time. Whenever they actually realized that we have to move out, that's when they started spreading the wings. So when you talk about they're doing what they need to do, that's exactly what they did. Talking about a team that needs to actually get into the smash zone, Alpha Gaming being able to do that, and you can tell all coming from eliminations.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that I will have to nitpick with this team, and I'm going to be talking about it for a long time if they continue to do this, is they are not playing like how they have done the previous 2 days. They have just been playing way too split, and those rotations are not early. I don't know what's going on with this team, Neptura.
Yeah, it is unfortunate to see. It feels like under their pressure, they're kind of defaulting to a previous strategy that was not really working for them. They've tweaked, they've adjusted. In the last 2 days, they've looked really, really good, but now as things start to fall apart, they're going back to those old mistakes. What I will say for them, though, they handled that fight with Regnum Karya and Power really, really well. DRX in the end as well, right? They were able to balance those teams against each other, get those nades, get those knocks, but not full commit, not full send, because they knew Regnum would just third party that. So really well played against both of those teams to actually get those points.
And who would have thought we would have seen first place going up against second place? Yangon Galacticos. Let me talk a little bit about you, because Mermat was scouting APG for the longest time, especially as soon as they saw DRX go towards them. Great scouting and great time to pounce on APG when they were down.
You can see Weibo here. They know that there is an opportunity that has arisen off of them being excellent in the last 2 games. You could see the elation on their faces as well, Neptura, as they realize once again, another win under the belt. Yes, just inches away from that smash zone. So they're going to have to do something in this next game. But as Seven said, with the way that they're playing, I think it's a likelihood.
Yeah, I haven't seen Order smile like that in a very long time. He was very pleased with how the team's been performing. And with a back-to-back on Erangel, it's really nice that we have another Erangel coming up. So that is really boding well for them as well. I will say zones have been kind to them, not necessarily given, but a little bit kinder to them versus an APG, which have struggled. That comes in. And WG, most importantly, the decision, if they want to go for something, they do it wholeheartedly. If they decide, actually, this is not a good idea, we need to go back, they do that wholeheartedly and quickly as well.
You talk about decision making. That was kind of scratching my head there early on was Yangon Galacticos. We're saying this team might not end up crumbling under the pressure. I think they're starting to feel that pressure because we saw something a little bit different out of them. Max and I, and you too, were discussing behind the scenes while we're watching the game. We never see this team go to the center of the circle early on. They've been playing the edge for the longest time. For me to be able to see this squad go towards center in a situation where they're more than likely trying to win the game, yes, that might have ended up working out, but that's going away from what they've been doing for the previous 2 days.
Do you think that they should fall back on what they've been doing? It's been successful, Neptura. Do you think the adjustments here is really not worth it?
I think especially in that last zone, it might not have been the play, because in the center of where it ended up, it's very low ground, very open, where the edges where everybody else was playing had a little bit more cover. There was a little bit more of that high ground, that scopeability as well there. Yep. So I think in that case, yeah, Seven's right. They should have stuck to the edge, but I do understand what they were trying to go for, because for very good reason, the center was very open and no one was there, where the edges were very busy.
Overall rankings time. All right, with potentially 3 more games remaining here, Yangon Galacticos and Alpha Gaming are currently in the Smash Zone. However, if Weibo Gaming gets themselves 5 points in this one, they will join them as well. And after rolling a chicken dinner into chicken dinner, who can potentially stop them? I am very concerned here, Seven. Either we get one of those 2 kings that coming in from the previous 2 days being able to take a victory, but it very clearly seems like both of them are either feeling the pressure or adjusting their strategies to the point where they're not exactly comfortable where they need to be to win PMWC.
I'm going to be looking at Alpha Gaming. I got to call them out real quick. I feel like if they want to get a chance at actually winning via Smash Roll, this next Erangel would be the one. We've seen Yangon Galacticos win in Miramar. Weibo, I mean, we know what they showcase, especially in PMHI, getting the championship there, wanting to continue on a trend here. But I'm also looking at some of the other teams. I'm looking at some of the other teams trying to stop their squads from getting the points. We saw Turning K from E-Arena stealing those elimination points towards the end. And I mean, these are teams that even though they are towards the bottom, they are fighting for that prize pool.
Yeah, it's really nice to see them because even though they're not in contention for those top 3 spots, right? At this point, they're just not. But they're able to take those placement points away from a team. They're able to push those teams further down in that game, and they're able to steal elimination points, as you said. So they are still making a massive game for themselves.
All right, and you guys at home, of course, can be involved in everything that's also going on around the game here, or for also PMWC. Starting from August the 1st, which was 2 days ago, the PDP Global Fashion Icon Contest officially has kicked off and is currently ongoing. This competition accepts both in-game outfit design submissions and participating by showcasing real-life outfits for you to wear. Use your sense of fashion to influence the world, and the total prize pool reaches up to $120,000. And with that, we are going over to the commentators. One final Erangel. Let's see who can take it.
One final Erangel, one final chance potentially to play during PMWC 2025. 2 eligible teams currently on Smash Point. Of course, we're talking APG, who just makes it off the back of that game number 3 Erangel, and for the other top dog, Yangon Galacticos, who's been here now for a couple of maps, but they haven't been able to seal the deal. But now is their opportunity. You want to stay up with everything that's happening on the check this out on to have a lot of fun. John, things are getting serious, and Weibo is looking to also be on Smash Point after this very map.
I mean, you say we're covering the next 3. We just don't know how many we're covering.
That's right.
It could end at any moment, although it will have to be the end of the match. But Weibo, with a back-to-back, have made a monumental ascent up the tables to be in the contest. They are just on the doorstep right now of getting into that Smash Zone to potentially take it away from Yangon Galacticos, who have been cruising at the top of the tables. You know, I said earlier on for one of my hot takes, and I'm going to keep bragging about this one, is that I felt like a Smash ruling was going to come through, but it wouldn't be from the point leader. It is not out of the question that that is occurring here. If we get to a match 5, if Weibo are able to get past that boundary, they could really take this one away and not be on top of those tables when it comes to those points, because it's all about that Smash. And an APG gonna let that happen either.
Ooh, I don't know, we'll see. The thing about Yangon Galacticos is they've been getting blessed by zones. They are playing very aggressively with they slow things down. They are playing in a methodical way to this very points still matter. Go to game number 6. Of course, if a team they win game 6, they then championship. But let's say a team outside of the running of Smash Point takes it, well, then it would default to the points winner. In this case, right now as it stands, it would be Yangon Galacticos. So points still matter, but if I'm Yangon Galacticos, if I'm APG, I'm going for it all. I'm trying to win this right here and now and shut everybody down, because the reality is, John, the longer these games go, there's more chances for other teams to be on Smash Point themselves and potentially for them to steal the championship away despite them not having the point lead.
It is, of course, that outside chance, that title, and not to mention the cash that goes along with it. It's going to be looming overhead, a bit of a threat here. $500,000 for first place is up for grabs.
Insane.
You drop down to second place, you will allow that to sneak, you slash that number in half. Down to 250k, that is a big, big drop-off. You don't want to let that happen, and Yangon Galacticos, Alpha Gaming, both of them essentially neck and neck as we go into our final Erangel match number from Sus towards Stout.
Get loud, favorite team. Matt Wavo. So be far away on how these drops go. Now, my prediction for this specific map, theoretically, for Yangon Galacticos, this is their best. Script, we go to our last two mirrors. I look at APG to then be the favorite. So if I'm Yangon Galacticos, I'm locking it in right here and now. Map number 4. I don't want to see Miramar because my chances of winning might have just gone down the drain. APG's on fire, but one of the things that's been hurting them is they only land military. They don't have a secondary drop, and because of that, they ran into issues a couple of maps ago. It took them a little bit longer to get to Smash Point, but yet here they are. Now, military is going to be quite active. We've talked about it. 3 teams on military. Things start to get crowded. APG is now one of them.
They are going to get involved on military. They get to drop out early for the first time today over towards their drop spot, but the circle sends up towards the northwest side, so teams moving over towards Georgia Pole. That's normally Yangon Galacticos. Going to have potentially a little bit of time, but on that north side, vehicle drops that could potentially messy and get involved with other teams, but it seems like they're extricating themselves effectively for the time being. No one getting too close to one another, and no knocks being seen just yet. Of course, we're looking at Weibo as well. Down in Primorsk, going to split up towards Quarry as well. Nobody really contesting on that spot. Again, early on that plane path, they should be looted nice and quickly, and that west side rotate, very available for them.
Very available indeed, and well, for Yangon Galacticos, they land a little bit short. Normally, they're up towards Georgia Pole, which would be phenomenal for them, being dead center. This time around, they will land a bit more to the eastern side of things. For E-Arena, already running into some issues. What a Sky getting the knife, and one is down, but Sky needs to get out of here, stay alive as long as possible.
Good news for Bora towards the bottom of these tables. E-Arena trying to defend. To be honest, no one's really paying attention to these teams down low. And it is 4 players to a vehicle for Yangon Galacticos, which we hate. But it does mean that they are going to have to grab a couple more vehicles on the road. And the buggy we first picked up by Smile. Besides the monster truck there as well, but they don't want to go for that. They're just going to draw up into those buildings.
This is a great opportunity for Yangon Galacticos to play for in-game. Not get too antsy. Let's not try to overexpose ourselves and go for eliminations. Let's tone back the aggressiveness. Again, I feel like they got way too aggressive in that last game. Would they still have won? I don't know. It would have been tough, but they were getting blessed by zones. Perfect opportunity to hold it down, center zone, play for late game. That's my game plan if I'm them. Now, you do have moving. Team Secret's going to be on the other side of the river towards Georgia Pole, and then, of course, E-Arena starts to come in as well. Maybe tempting fate to go into where Yangon Galacticos is currently at. They might go where Team Secret is. But we also shift our attention to APG. Once again, center of military, and they've got to make a decision. Eastern Bridge, Western, mathematically possible, but they've got to give it a good effort. They crash in on Ida Aaron, a guy that dismantled YG from a distance. This time now he has to stand his ground in a shed against Loxy. Great nade to take him down half health, but still, Wild has the angle. You can't jump, you can't really move. You just pray and hope the utility works, and it will on Loxy.
That is nasty business from Aaron, and another one over the top. The fire's not going to bother him, and that's a flush. Regnum Kaya getting dismantled.
settled. The solo in the shack. Aaron, the young firecracker on the roster. His rookie season last year, he had an impact.
He can do this!
He wants to have a little bit more here against Regnum Karya. Tries to thread through the vehicle on the hop in, hop out, sidestep, but is eventually taken down. Meanwhile, Weibo with a chance.
There it is. Weibo has a chance, but Four Thrives are looking to take it away. They're fighting hard. They are fighting tooth and nail. IQ gets a finish onto one. Weibo's numbers will start to dwindle away. Now 2 players, but Zook says, I'm not done just yet. He'll get a cleanup on one. Naki will also drop order, but for Weibo, they stand with a solo, and Four Thrives are out.
Rez onto 33Z, onto order as well. It will be able to come through. Alpha is close by to them, so could be a little bit dangerous. Oh, there's a nade. Doesn't quite connect, so they're going to know there's a player close by. This should be a Falcons chicken dinner.
Absolutely.
If they don't win it, Falcons back.
Well, Falcons still very close, potentially breaking up in the top 5. That is a narrative. Alva, great shots. Hold up a second. Alter Egos becoming a narrative once again. Alva has been the clutch master oftentimes, and well, now he has a chance to do just that. I mean, he is working these angles masterfully, and for order up ahead, question is, can he take down Alva? I don't know. It's going to be, of course, solo versus solo. Winner stays alive, a chance to get more placement points, and Alva is moving, but not for long. Orta gets it, a couple of shots in celebration. Weibo, no, they are going into Game 6 with the chance.
They've got 7 elims, 4th place. They may have actually overtaken Alpha Gaming, depending on how many placement points they're able to earn here. So 2nd place is up for grabs, a nice little pay bump for them if they can find it. Of course, coming up into 2nd place from 3rd place, goes from 150 grand to $250,000. That is 100,000.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing, 1 elim will tie Alpha Gaming. Just 1. If they can get it, my oh my, is it going to be on a Regnum Karya member, or maybe even on kicks up ahead from order? He's got options, but he's got to pick and choose properly for Regnum Karya. If he chooses to go into Toshpik, well, Wild might be able to help. Actually, no, I take that back. Wild is fully focused on Falcons up ahead, so Toshpik is going to be the one to potentially ruin the chances from Weibo to catch up to APG.
For my money, the smartest play Order can make is staying quiet here. Not getting engaged. DRX are, I believe, just about in this circle. I think it is Shaq. I thought he might have been outside of the circle here on the south side, but he's going to be right up and against it. Falcons know where he is. Order should know where he is. He's going to be locked into this one, especially with the circle shifting out as it does. DRX is going to have to go out first, but Order hops back into the vehicle. He's repositioning. He wants to get a little bit of a different angle on this one as Falcons start to extend their influence over this circle.
Yes, they do, but one of the things that's done Falcons in previous games is getting overly aggressive. This time, I think it is going to be the off angles from the solo. Now, kicks dropping here would be wonderful for Falcons. They get him off of that side angle, and they can focus on everybody up just to the north-hand side. But I do not want to discredit the power of where Order is currently at. He truly could be instrumental once he finally does get active, especially when all these fights end up taking place. I don't know, maybe he can steal this game. It would be insanity, but it is a possibility.
He's not going to have to move before DRX have to move, before the last player from DRX has to step out into the open and get lit up by the Falcons. Well, everybody, really, because you can see Narvalos just waiting. Okay, deny to the blue zone as well. This is a placement point for Weibo. That does the same thing.
Oh.
They ladder up into 3rd. That's another point.
That Narvalo hit the shot needed to take him down before Blue did, but Blue was successful. Well, they know where Order is at. Again, Toshpik on that off angle. I just don't think they're ready for it. Shots are going to come through. Ralph is going to fire upon him. Toshpik is going to renegotiate his position. Wild will maintain his ground. Falcons start to move up. This is their game to take. Toshpik will fall. Wild behind the vehicle. If a good nade is thrown, it might just drop him or at least get rid of the vehicle. Wild's gone. Now, you've got the solo from Weibo. It's Order. He's looking down on Falcons. He's going to manage to drop Ralph. Like I said, Order might be able to do it, but it's not going to happen. The crowd favorite team, Falcons, finally back in the winner's circle.
They find the elims, they find the shutdown. Team Falcons able to get a chicken dinner right towards the end. Weibo They are into the smash point zone as well at the top of the tables, and 3 teams now stand atop the pack.
And Weibo is officially 1 point ahead of Alpha Gaming, putting them in second place. It's been a 2-horse race for the majority of this tournament, for the majority of grand finals, but finally Weibo has put themselves in a position to become champions themselves. But it comes down to one more map, one more Miramar to decide our new champion, PMWC 2025. A lot riding on the line and only one more opportunity to achieve greatness. We're going to take another break. When we come back, the final game of PMWC 2025 will be upon us.
Dear PUBG Mobile fans, we are delighted to invite you to the 2025 PUBG Mobile World Cup at the Esports World Cup in Riyadh, KSA. This exciting event will take place from July 25th tournament celebration, prediction rewards, esports shop, themed outfit, and champion challenge. Join these activities to earn rewards and collect esports tokens to redeem even more gifts in the esports shop. The more esports tokens you collect, the better rewards you'll get. You can get up to 2,870. Are issued the second day after each stage ends at 4 a.m. UTC 0. You'll receive esports tokens based on your prediction results. Note, esports tokens don't expire and can be used in future esports events. Who do you think will be the ultimate champion? Join the 2025 PMWC event and share your
themselves up the league, up for more prize pool here at PMWC. But at the same time as well, whilst you're watching these games go on, you can also check out the EWC app, which is obviously
win. I felt like one was kind of gifted as well. They were having some 2-2 splits, but overall, it's Team Falcons pretty much getting themselves into more money.
And they got the win for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, we just went on the second page. We have to talk about Weibo Gaming, right? They just entered the Smash with that game. They just got in, Order clutching it up at the end. I was thinking, actually, if they maybe got a few more points earlier, maybe Order can clutch it. Unfortunately, they don't get the entirety of that match. They do lose at the end to Falcon.
with the most points will be the champion here at PMWC.
Yeah, with the way the Yangon has been playing throughout the whole day, we got to see what the overall is going to be looking like, because this team has been consistent, haven't been able to get the win. Remember what happened yesterday, though. This was a team that did end up getting a win with 12 eliminations. Maybe
because Nongshim and Thundertalk were fighting it out, and actually Nongshim is the more dangerous team to win out of that situation. If Thundertalk had won over Nongshim, historically speaking, over the last 2 days, 3 days nearly now, we haven't seen anything else from them. So for the rest of the lobby, they're not really looking like to
second place, as well as being able to move into the Smash Zone. Alpha Gaming is hot on their heels, but that takeover is huge. And now, Yangon, 150 points. It would be poetic, Max, if we saw them get a win and win on points overall.
Attention to Weibo Gaming.
Being able to achieve at least a minimum top 3, some even a win with Yangon Galacticos, is going to come down to that final match, and it's going to come down to seeing if Weibo Gaming and Alpha Gaming can get a win.
I don't think Alpha Gaming like this turn of events at all. I mean, we've seen it too many times, right? Across global events, it just keeps happening. It keeps slipping on that final day. At least it's only by 1 point. So with the final game, maybe they can actually go, actually, we've well had enough of this. It's time to get back into second place, maybe even that first rather. And maybe that's just the fire they need.
At Weibo Gaming, I'm looking back at this got saved. He got eliminated last second. Here is coming.
Do the right rotation as well.
Well, let's take a look at the top teams on Miramar once again. Our three teams that are able to smash or move into the point lead are right there. And whilst we're taking a look at that, before we go into our last game, let's do some predictions for the champion. We're going to start with Maxman.
No, can I go last?
Oh.
No,
Does
you
he
can't.
dare?
I can't pick APG. I've done it too many. I'm going Weibo. I'm going Weibo.
And God, look well here. Let's get this a rolling. Gentlemen, we have one final game. You can see all of the players getting ready to go. He's going to elbow drop them into oblivion for this one. Those are the predictions coming out from the desk. To go. Not sure that they're ready to game just yet, Seven. So we do have a few moments before we get to this, but it's always nice predictions out there just before. Insane situation, Turo.
Can I just...
We were saying at one time it was too slow with against power. Aggression was there. Something you have here. Last game
has been up for today. They're looking to see how many points they needed to get. They know now. 5 your top into the
or will it be destruction? It turns out potentially
break that smash. Join Yangon Galacticos and Alpha Gaming with a chance here in the final match of the. It's all to play for. Here.
Team. In PUBG Mobile history, the question is, who has it in them to close it out? All that work to not be for nothing. All that work to gain. You never lose to champion. Yangon Galacticos. Perspective, but also from our talent managers. Now the question is, Arena, who's winning it? Is it Weibo Gaming? I think so. Maybe Alpha Gaming have a chance. On Galacticos, everybody's got their energy out in the because our final game started.
It's a way to down the tournament, a 3. It's been and for their days for the last few days. Now through at the moment being over into part of this playing path, which has a fair northern city.
And it looks as if they will, which again, Horta, Falcons, gate them, and this is scary. Change it up last game. Yes, you go towards the south. This time for Horta and Falcons, it's personal. Keep them at bay. Shut the Stage 3 for APG, however, they are within zone, but they've got company all around them.
Hey, look at that. 1 point immediately earned. Tiebreaker back on in action. And I think that means that Weibo do win the tiebreaker. I believe they've got one more chicken dinner than Alpha Gaming, if I'm not mistaken, having earned the back-to-back that they've been able to find today. So they are sat on 2 chicken dinners. 139, of course, that will be the tiebreaker, unless Alpha Gaming win, but then it's a non-factor because they win via the smash ruling. Oh, there's so many interlocking rules. I love logistical, bureaucratic nightmares on points tables. It's what I live for.
And just to confirm, it is Weibo with 2 wins, Alpha Gaming with 1. So something to take effect a little bit later on, but all eyes, of course, on these 3 great rosters. You know, you got one starting off relatively high, of course, being Weibo, or APG getting a shot, but that also puts a target, which might be in the back of the mind of the officers thinking, party, this is our last chance to elevate.
There's a lot of money that's mixed in the middle of the tables. Obviously, the 3 teams at the top have taken a lot of points, but the points gap between teams like Regnum Kaya all the way down to Team Secret, right? So 4th to 12th, that drop-off could be there, right? And that is a pretty sizable $120,000. And then you go down to 12th at 45. With a single game, they can around, earn more, drop down. It's a lot of wiggle room here.
Without a doubt. And Regnum Karya, they have been the boogeyman of, well, APG over the past couple of maps. This time around, they take down Krypton from Alter Egos. A guy that clutches up, a guy that you want to stay alive. Does it impact his standings? Well, potentially. Alter Egos could pass DR. That puts Regnum Karya in an even safer spot.
Absolutely, they're going to feel a little bit safer as time goes on. Behind them, of course, the Falcons coming off of a chicken dinner. You know what? I was kind of surprised that Neptura decided to predict them for the tournament win. Not because they're so far down the tables, but because they're not Team Spirit. And of course, Neptura loves Team Spirit. Favorite team. Unfortunately, they didn't even make it out of CSA.
That's right. Team Spirit, rest in peace. Neptura. Keep sending your love to them. Maybe they'll come back next year.
Absolutely.
I do want to point out Weibo, however, pretty centralized in the zone. DRX do start to move in relatively close to them. That's going to be a fun one to potentially watch. But for Weibo, they're going to try and stay as quiet as possible, but they can also gatekeep a couple of rosters. And Auction Red Force, DRX, Ida, maybe Thunder Talk, who's a little bit further away. For Yangon Galacticus against do have T20 relatively close.
Just scouting out, trying to navigate those rotations out east. In the meantime, though, in the circle, around Hassian. Followed by Gaming. That will not change because with the chicken dinners sitting as they are, that's the tiebreakers. And of course, if anyone increases their chicken dinners, win the tournament by the smash. So that tiebreaker order will be in effect throughout the course of this one. And it could very much come down to those chicken dinner differences.
Right. So T24 still close, but not close enough to really have an effect on this Falcons rotation. And for Team Falcons, you know, we've been talking about them dropping the ball. Far away. It's not impossible for Team Falcons to get a top 5 finish, which, by the way, again, in the club championship race, Falcons need a top 8 finish. They're in 9th place. So this is up for Falcons in the overall scale of things for the club championship race.
That's how they can do it. I'm sure there's plenty of fans at the arena who want the Falcons to do it as well, to help out on that club championship.
Game, Gangong Galactica start to move in. This is very typical of their style, but again, you've got Falcons who might keep them at bay, and if they choose to drop south, which is their typical game plan, 4th Thrive's right in front of them.
They're moving on in on the west side towards San Martin for the Falcons. We're still waiting on Alpha Gaming and Yangon Galacticos to make their appearances. Of course, Yangon Galacticos, they're in the blue zone. Currently, actually, fairly close to it, all things considered, for their It's so confusing. You never know if you're going to flip your vehicle or not.
From now on, when I'm driving down a bumpy road, I'm just going to bubble over the potholes. That's right. That's my strategy. Yep. John, I like it. New terminology. They decide to go up north, that's great for them. And north really has no competition if they decide to commit towards water treatment, which could be a great spot depending on how quickly they get over there. But there's a lot of terrain and a lot of distance between them and that. APG also staying south. They're going to be in blue currently, and they have a free route towards the north. Both rosters, I believe, currently waiting for this next stage to pop, and it does encompass water treatment, which again opens that up maybe for Hora, who's going to be the closest. They can overtake that. YG might be able to move up, but for APG, I mean, so tightly contested. Yes, a free route in, but they've got to go in between 4th Thrives, E-Arena, and then ultimately, of course, Nox from Red Force, Fireflux, so many rosters, and the same thing can be said for Gangong Galacticos. This is great for Weibo. Weibo's still dead center. They're established. They don't have to move, but is Order by himself?
Maybe. I mean, they are fairly split right now. The question is, how long can Weibo hold this split in the center of this circle? Falcons are going to push in on the north. Regnum Kaya from the other side as well. They're looking to try and move on in. Otter on that northern edge could get in the middle of it, get stuck in there. Thunder Talk, everybody trying to get closer towards the east side of San Martin, towards Hacienda del Patron.
Alter Ego's also started to move in from Ida that they'll have to run through. In those fights taking place, again, this is the final game, and so many teams are very
There's a lot of danger in this final match here of the PMWC. The grand finals continue to deliver on the excitement towards this final match as Yangon Galacticos navigate their way up the west side, over the top of San Martin, up and into the hills. It looks like Weibo are going to try and hold on the Manor House as well, and play in the center of Hacienda.
Still, that split worries me, especially if the team decides to go. That's awkward, but for Weibo, still all 4 up.
Out and could potentially backfill Yangon Galacticos here around the west side of San Martin. This fight feels inevitable. We could move one of our 3 teams here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense, right? You go back, what, several maps? And they now have to now get in to the zone. But get here, the next zone is about to shift. The question is, where does it go? But that's not too bad. That's not too bad. But Noxium Red Force is gatekeeping the outer edge, and APG still needs to go forward. They go north, they go into YG. If they go south, they go into Fourth Rise. If they go east, it's straight into Noxium Red Force. And Smile is scouting, but I hope he doesn't get too carried away. He's jumped out.
Oh, Doc has been spotted, I believe, out on this western side. Gonna have to be careful, and Smile gets knocked down. He's going to find that knock, and it is just time and time again that he has dropped the ball for APG. And finally, it may be the death blow dealt towards Alpha Gaming.
Said I was ringing the alarm bells, and now they are sounding as loud as they possibly can. Losing Doc hurts, but for Alpha Gaming, a chance still remains with 3 players up, but you just gave an elimination to the team you're fighting against. For Hora, they start to push in for Team Secret, trying to hold on tight. They cannot, and they will be eliminated in the final game of the tournament.
Comes through. Not super likely to want to crash right now, so they will definitely be solid to hold this 2-2 split into the next zone. Let's take a look at this replay. Doc hops out, and I mean,
yeah, hit and run. Hit and run,
it's
backs away, gets away, and it is so disappointing. I know Seven is fuming right now because he's been setting this narrative, the Doc getting Doc going up by himself. I know doing the research coming into the global stage, that was one of the things he made sure that I remember. Doc loves to go up by himself, but one of the things they improved on is Doc started joining his roster once again, and that made them strong.
Miles. 3 players now. Galacticos, they tried to move through. Falcons extract the ball on the road from them. And now from the north side, potentially could move down towards Hacienda, a decent spot that Weibo have to abandon to hold this 2-2 split. Space there. Alpha Gaming with potentially their last rotate of this tournament. As Reapers gets spotted. Off now in the firing line. He's loading up to take these shots. And Weibo
Alpha Gaming to take this championship, but he's surrounded by everybody. Luckily, there's a little bit of space, but his chances of winning this are now slim to none. How comebacks in PUBG Mobile history. If Zion can somehow take this victory, Alpha Gaming fans, I know you want to, so I'll say there for you.
Okay, I think it is very much an outside chance here. I like this regroup from Weibo. Talking about how you can hold that 2 because the teams around you aren't likely to move. With this circle shifting down, they regroup from that east side, but teams like DRX on their position, Thundertalk, Alter Ego on that north side, likely to want to try and take that compound on the corner from them. So regroup, recoalesce, and play as for the only team in the top 3 with a chance that has
potentially move up. The only team around is Hora. Depending on how this zone ends up rotating, maybe we do see a clash between Yangon Galacticos as well as the Weibo roster, but you still got to appreciate where Weibo is at. 4 members still alive. They now are joined together. There is no more of a split, and they're staying tried and true to what has worked for them, taking center zone. 4 Thrives versus Power. What's at stake with this fight? Well, 4 Thrives are currently 5 points away from catching up to Regnum Caria, which would be in a better spot, more money, knocking them down, but it's not a guarantee. 0 to silent Power and take 3 members that Horta starts to rotate over. Regnum Karya has Loxy just up ahead, but Horta, all eyes on them as they're taking some damage.
On the east flank here against Loxy, but Yangon Galacticos are moving in on the north side towards potentially Weibo Gaming's compound. Another fight that could dictate the pace of this tournament. On the north edge, they could wipe each other out. Oh, Loxy does go down. Regnum Karya taken down with 112 points on the tables. Fourth Rise could definitely leapfrog that.
That's it. Fourth Rise can do this. Fireflux have fought hard throughout the entirety of this tournament, but I believe everything is starting to come to an end as 2 players are to fight hard. But Kix wants to take them down. Fireflux maybe to pass Team C, get up into top 12. Does hit a nice shot. Skit drops down, takes him out. Scarface, the last dream to move.
Clutch of the side. Look at it. Fireflux. South side. Did he get too much further? This one in the tournament is starting to down for teams left and right. We've dropped 3 now. Performance is done and dusted. Circle pops, and it keeps Weibo in, but it forces Yangon Galacticos out.
Yes, it does. Yangon Galacticos now have to push in, potentially past Weibo. The question is, will they choose to challenge? They've been highly aggressive during the finals. Scarface, though, all eyes on him as he continues to stay up for a little bit longer, but I don't know if Fireflux did what they needed to do to pass up Team Secret. Matt taking damage. Horta with the third party. Yangon Galacticos might be getting taken down relatively soon. They've got to play this carefully.
Ooh, Fourth Thrives on the inside, looking to try and overtake as DRX are going neck and neck with them, bouncing back and forth on those tables, both trying to overtake Regnum Karya here.
Let's talk about scenarios. Alpha Gaming has a solo live with Zeal. Still within zone, he's staying quiet. Yangon Galacticos, obviously a chance to win this game with 3 members, but they got a tall task ahead of them with Weibo just up ahead. Horta off to their off angle. Falcons obviously still around. Now, for Weibo, let's say Yangon Galacticos does get taken down. Weibo could win in 2 ways. A winner-winner chicken dinner, or just getting enough points to surpass the point threshold, which is currently at the moment around 150, 152 for Yangon Galacticos. So, for Weibo Gaming, they need 14 stands. Let's not forget he's still alive.
Title was back in 2021, and that was with Order over on Nova.
Need to buck up and obviously play this with only a solo left. Fourth Thrive's job becomes even harder. IQ has such a tall task, and he's down, and Fourth Thrives did not do enough to break in to the top 5.
And with DRX, need one bang in the middle.
That's right. Ida have such a great position here. Such a great opportunity with 3 players last alive. Maybe even break into top 8 themselves. A big game is needed. The possibility is there. Remember, winner, 2 points. That would put them at 94.
Falcons go down to 3, but Nongshim Red Force seem to be bleeding as well. E-Arena across the way could try and have an impact here.
Party, Nongshim, Red Force. Question is for Sook, all by himself.
The placement point.
To go in onto Yangon Galacticos, they're collapsing in. Weibo wants to silence the Yangon Galacticos roster right here and now.
Dash up towards Yangon, but it is not enough. They were 11 points behind at the start of this match. They are now 13 points behind. Starting to add up. They need PL, their hopes may be dashed. That 3-peat for order slipping through their fingers. APG finally.
Only thing that stands solo from way the championship. Can Sook up? Continues to push up. Porta wants Sook dead to rights, but the nades can't connect, and Sook stays alive.
It's only a matter of time. He's taking coin flip after coin flip, and the Molotov is burning at his feet. It's not connecting, though. The spread's not there, but they've got nades pouring on in. No, they're not connecting. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Sook is weathering the storm that is battering down this shack.
Right, Sook trying his best to stay alive, but all it takes is one good connection. Another nade goes in. Is this going to be good? Is it going to be good? Yes, it is! And Weibo will fall! APG already out! And Yangon Galacticos will take PMWC 2025 in sensational fashion!
The madmen from Myanmar able to take the top spot here in Riyadh. PMWC sent over to East Asia once again, and they will be happy to receive it. They go down, but they have done the work. It is over. It's done and dusted. We just need to lock it in. They're already celebrating. They know what they've done, and they need to be proud of themselves.
History has been Galacticos champions. They worked They hug it out. Want to be champions to. That's exactly what they did. And for the remainder of the points, we still have something up for grabs for DRX. Maybe they can pass Ragnarkaria and break in to top 4. But just like that, they get eliminated. But it comes down, of course, to the placement points. We're now down to our top 2.
They should have been able to leapfrog Ragnarkaria there, jump up to 4th place. But that is a beautiful result for Yangon Galacticos. They do not need a chicken dinner. They'll take it home on the points. Weibo with a misstep, a wide flank out towards Yangon Galacticos, and that allows the Yangon Galacticos boys to hold their nerve on the hillside. They play up on the ridgeline, they keep their heads down, and they allow the mistakes to unfold around them, and that seems to be the story of the grand finals. Let everyone else make the mistakes.
That's right.
Play it sensible, play it smart.
With their early point lead, they were able to just play good old-fashioned PUBG Mobile. They didn't have to do anything fancy. They didn't have to go out of their way to do anything extraordinary. They left that up to the other rosters, and like you said, that led to plenty of mistakes. Yangon Galacticos dominating the tournament without question. They refused to relinquish first place. Once they grabbed it, nobody was able to overtake it. The dominating performance in PMWC 2025. The final 2 teams fight. The only thing that's up for grabs is a potential elevation to the top 10. Ida moves up. Porta starts to fire the shots. I love the off angle from Jiggle, who's going to be just up to the north. Darkin might be able to mow him down. We already know our champion, but we still need to crown a winner-winner chicken dinner.
One more to be earned. That meal may be a little bit ashen, but it'll be nice nonetheless. We've also got things like MVP to consider coming on afterwards as well. Some nice prizes for plenty of players to try and chow down on to boot. Azora look to try and close the jaws here. Ida had the compound for the longest time. They were this bastion in the middle of this circle, and now Ora may be able to claim the final map here. And you can see the elation is sinking in for the boys on Yangon Galacticos. They are smiling ear to ear, and they have earned it.
Insane. And I want to say, Yangon Galacticos, we took note of them, right? We respected them coming into this tournament. But I don't think we put them as the favorite to take over the win, to actually be in first place, yet they took it by storm. They saw the opportunity, and they did not waste it. Darkin starts to move up. Blue most likely takes him out. If not, he's going to be very low health. Orta, Ida fighting it out. Jiggle from a distance. Another one will fall. There's Darkin finally out of the way. And Orta looks to be going towards a victory very, very soon. Rita tries to clutch up. Can't do it. Orta will take our final game of the tournament. But of course, the narrative has to go to Yangon Galacticos, the winners of PMWC 2025. Well done, boys.
Riyadh bows their heads in awe of Yangon Galacticos, for Smile, for Murnat, for Romeo, for Say Cloud. This is their moment. They have done it. That trophy sits in the middle of the stage. It's only a moment before they'll be able to ascend and lift it in the face of everybody who would take it away from them. Those keys crushed, and only one will be locked into that trophy.
16 keys started for this championship in the grand finals. 15 are going to be crushed. Yangon Galacticos, the only one to maintain their position, to maintain and save their key from destruction. An amazing performance. Again, a team that worked so hard throughout every single stage. Yangon Galacticos earning their spot, refusing to relinquish first place all the way to the very end.
As they take to Yangon Galacticos.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have found our champions. Sorry, I'm stepping on your flag. The team, they persevered, they climbed the mountain, they survived the gauntlet that was Smash Sunday. Incredible. Congratulations, gentlemen. Emotions are, of course, running high. We could all see from your faces, you knew midway through that game that you managed to secure the win. But for now, let's start things slow. Let's start things easy, okay? First and foremost, I would like to invite our key master, Dominic. He's going to come out and present you with your Esports World Cup key. There you have it. Look at that. And so you know what you have to do now, don't you, gentlemen? We have to send your opponents down from the grand finals, okay? We are going to crush these keys. Say, Cloud, would you like to start us off? Why don't you turn the key and start those engines? Right, the engines are started. You'll feel it underneath the feet. Hold up. Okay. Hold up. Okay, Marnet, you can. Marnet, you can flick that switch. Push forward. There we go. Reveal that iris. We've opened it up. Look at those teeth. They are menacing. Okay. Master Smile, would you like to wave? Well, hold on. I'm going to give you a count. In 3, in 2, 1. Send them down. All those keys destroyed in the crusher. Your enemies have been defeated. 15 teams' keys have been sent down into the depths. And now that your key is the only one that is left intact, I would like you to take your PMWC trophy key and place that into the center of the trophy and go and claim your prize. Walk that golden road, cement your legacy. Yangon Galacticos as our champions of PMWC. Congratulations. Gentlemen, that must have felt good. We're going to get Coach Marco over as well so that he can do some translating for us. But wow, what a day. There's a lot of emotions that you guys are feeling right now. Please try to put into words how you're feeling at this moment, Romeo.
ကျွန်တော်အရန်စိတ်လှုပ်ရှားတာပေါ့နော်ဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အရန်စိတ်ပူရတယ်ရှေ့ပွဲတို့နည်းနည်းအမားလေးဖြစ်သွားတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ကျွန်တော်နောက်ဆုံးပွဲမှာကျွန်တော်လုံနိုင်တယ်ဆိုတာအကုန်လုံးကိုယုံကြည်တယ်ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကတာနေတယ်အဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အမားမခံဘူးတစ်ဖက်သင်းမှာပဲကျွန်တော်တို့စောင့်တယ်အဲ့ဒါနဲ့ပဲကျွန်တော်တို့နောက်ဆုံးထိကျွန်တော်တို့စောင့်နိုင်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်ချန်ပီယံကြီးကိုယူခဲ့တာပါ
Yes, what Romeo saying is, of course we are nervous. We are top of the league, you know. We just like did some mistake the previous rounds, but you know, like we just wait. Like we just play our own game and then wait their mistakes, and then we know that we can do it. We have a confidence to make it happen. Yeah.
Well, you definitely proved it up here. Say, Cloud, I'm going to come to you now because I want to ask you. We've heard some information that the teams that you would like to place in the base of your trophy, the crushed keys, are Alpha Gaming, Alter Ego, Erez, and Weibo Gaming. Can you tell us why you decided to choose those teams?
မင်းဘာလို့အဲ့လိုအတင်းနဲ့ဘယ်လိုရွေးခဲ့လဲပေါ့ဟိုမင်းတို့ငါတို့ခက်ခဲတဲ့အတွက်လား
Eva Gaming ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ဒီ day 1 day 2ထိနောက်ဆုံးထိကျွန်တော်တို့လိုက်ပြီးတော့ pressure ပေးတဲ့အတင်းပေါ့နော် Alter Ego ကတော့ဒါစီမှာဘယ်လိုပြောမလဲ PNS အောင်နှစ်တင်စတိုက်ရထားတဲ့အတင်းဆိုတော့ respect
So what he say Oh sorry keep going
Weibo ကတော့တည့်ရတိုင်းပါပဲအခုနောက်ဆုံးချိန်ထိသူတို့ကဘာလဲဆိုတာရရတဲ့အတွက်
So yeah.
So actually, of course, like APT is a very good team, and then they gave us good pressure previous game before. Of course, Alter Ego, we respect Alter Ego because they are top level team. Of course, also Weibo Gaming, everyone know Weibo Gaming, they are top of the league all the time. So we respect everything. Thank you.
That's good, showing your respect. Thank you so much. I'm going to come around here. Master Smile, we had a few opportunities to speak throughout the week, and you had some great performances, of course. You know, the crowd's been brilliant, haven't they? And you've got so many fans, you know, supporting you guys online, from home, family as well. Is there anything that you would like to say to them?
Thank you so much, everyone.
That is so kind of you. Thank you so much. Would you like to say anything as well, Marnet? I feel like I'm leaving you out. What would you like to say?
အခုလို champion ရသွားတဲ့အတွက်ကျွန်တော်ရန်လဲပျော်တယ်ရန်လဲစိတ်လို့ရတယ်ကျွန်တော်ဒီညီကိုရင်းနဲ့ champion ရတဲ့အတွက်ရန်ပြီးဂုဏ်ယူတယ်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အားပေးနေတဲ့ fan တွေကိုလည်းအကျန်းကျေးဇူးတင်တယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့ကြရောနောက်လည်းဆက်ပြီးအားပေးကြပါအောင်လို့အားလုံးပြောချင်ပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်မြန်မာနိုင်ငံကိုစောင့်နိုင်တဲ့အတွက်ရန်ကိုဂုဏ်ယူပါတယ်
So what he's saying is like, of course, yes, he nervous, but he very happy at the same time. And then because he make it happen with these players, he's so proud of that. Of course, proud of our country, of course. So he want to say something to the fans who watching online. That's keep cheering for us. Thank you for the cheerings. For the next game, we were waiting. We're coming for the next game too. Next time again.
I love that. That's good. Thinking into the future already. Well, congratulations. Stay right here. I will be right back because what would a tournament be without some standout performances that we have had? Be careful. Walk your way over here because we have our Sony MVP of the PMWC here standing next to me. It is Doc from Alpha Gaming, everybody. Congratulations, Doc. You are absolutely phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to head back over here because for one final time, Gadia Esports Arena, make some noise for your 2025 PMWC champions at the Esports World Cup. It is Yangon Galacticos!
A dream come true, written in gold. Yangon Galacticos becomes the champions of PMWC 2025. What a moment for those four boys here, being able to conquer adversity, launch themselves into the stratosphere as Yangon Galacticos is your champions. Joining me here to talk about everything that has gone down, Seven, Neptura, Maxman. Seven, this is their moment, a moment that they will remember for a lifetime.
A moment that nobody expected them to be here. This is a team that qualified through PUBG Mobile Challenger South Asia Cup. For them to be able to go that route and not really have that much global experience. Only 3 of their players had PMGC experience in PNWI, and that was back in 2023. What an amazing performance, Neptura.
Fantastic coming in from them. It's so nice to see some fresh faces in here, faces we've not seen in a while, coming in onto the international stage and absolutely dominating.
Taking down giants here at PMWC, outliving Alpha 7, taking down Weibo Gaming, Alpha Gaming at the very end here, at this very last match. Truly just making a statement that anyone can dominate in PUBG Mobile Esports, and here Myanmar is the one to take it home.
It's a true underdog story, and you don't get them often in esports, which is so exciting for me to watch, for us to witness, for everybody at home to see as this team can rise to the occasion. And as you say, Max, the fact that anybody can do it, if they persevere, if they're able to get win after these teams, and here is your confirmation here. Number 1, 157 points at the very
up, and boy did they the second place finish.
Weibo Gaming, I am begging you, keep this roster. You have so much potential. If you can re-qualify to PMGC with this team and you just play the way you did today in your next tournament from the get-go, I really believe this squad could be taking home so many trophies.
Winning Hong Kong, coming into today, I was thinking it's only ever going to be a two-horse race, Neptura, and yet Weibo comes along, gets back-to-back chicken dinners, and then continues to make it happen as well. The meteoric rise we saw from Weibo today gave me chills.
Absolutely, same here. I mean, it's so nice to see. Even when they weren't winning, they were getting those second places. They were getting those top 5 performances with a decent amount of elims as well, right? So I wholeheartedly echo what you were saying, Max. Keep this roster, keep it together, re-qualify, and we're going to see. This is definitely not the last we've seen of them.
How about APG? We got to give this team some credit too. As much as I've been hating on what happened today, amazing performance, especially in the finals. It came down crumbling at the end. And once again, guess who's the one getting that Sony MVP award?
No.
That's right, Doc.
Doc, he just keeps doing it, man. He just keeps being MVP after MVP, and the team just can't win a bloody trophy. It's just not happening. Look at this guy.
Wow.
31 eliminations on his lonesome here in these grand finals over the course of 18 matches. Doc is truly a legend, and the only thing that could really get over the fact of being an MVP would be possibly winning a tournament, but that has not happened today.
But at least now the hopes are open, Max, that we could possibly get one player just winning all the global MVPs for the year. If this team is able to qualify for PMGC, even if they don't win the championship, we know one thing's for sure, Doc will be contending for that MVP award.
I'm actually very excited about one cool thing. East was talked about to possibly be joining the squad, replacing Reefus. There might be a sub and Baron becoming an actually a content creator. If that happens, this squad might be that might just be the one extra change they need to go and win one of these international events.
Neptura?
No, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that roster evolves. I really hope that they don't kind of split up or disintegrate completely for me, because I still really like them. We've been very frustrated with them over the last couple of weeks, like very frustrated. But at its core, this is a very good team who knows what they're doing. I just want to see them not crack under the pressure, because I think today at least, as soon as they got close to actually being able to get that win, they went back to old habits. They started splitting up too much. They were way too slow to rotate, too timid to take, decisive plays that would have won them games. They just fell back on old habits.
Well, let's take a look at those individual awards coming in here from PMWC as well at the Esports World Cup 2025. And we have, of course, Doc being the grenade master. Is there anybody else that's going to take that? Doc being the field medic. All right, he can't do everything here, guys. What's going on, Max?
How is he field medic when he's always away from his team?
I don't know. He's never there.
This guy, I genuinely mean this. I think that Doc has been the most enigmatic player we've ever had in PUBG Mobile Esports. Despite us being so critical, he keeps performing and getting these awards.
But of course, Smile will be taking best in-game leader here. Is there really too much surprise? 7 Yangon Galacticos was able to push them through to the absolute forefront.
And an aggressive IGL as well, right? 29 eliminations. That's, 4 less than Doc got? So while everybody sings Doc's praises for being such a massive eliminator, you've also got Smile there with 29. That's not bad either.
I gotta harp down on the point that I made for Yangon Galacticos. The way that this team played here on their first global event, especially for Smile, in 2 years, and being able to become one of these amazing players, being able to win an award as well, that is just so impressive, and I'm hoping that they kind of continue on with the performance that they had. They show us adaptability, and when we talk about championship teams, that is one thing we always bring up. You gotta be able to adapt to what the lobby is giving you, and you gotta take advantage to what it gives you.
Well, let's take a look at the Honor dominations as well coming in from today, because I can only imagine. Oh, yeah, of course. Actually, this is, I think, across the entirety of the grand finals here. So, Doc with 6 triple elims here. Ketch for Fireflux. We saw him early on in the grand finals, Neptura being able to position himself, and he kept on going.
It's one of those things where it's like, well, at least there's some representation somewhere, right? I think everybody expected a lot more from that team. There's a lot of big names on that team, so it's nice that they're able to be on the leaderboard somewhere.
Well, We've still got to talk, though, a little bit more about our champions here for PMWC as Yangon Galacticos. You can see every single win, every single emotion etched on these players' faces, Max. Just fantastic stuff for them.
And we heard it during the interview. They said, we'll be back. They've got a taste of glory, a taste of success at PMWC.
Yeah.
Now they know what to expect next time as this roster. If they make it into PMGC, the sky might just be the limit. The emotion, all of this adventure through PMCL to make it to this point. A true underdog story that actually found its culmination here on this last day.
Underdogs, absolute challengers these players are. They were able to qualify through that at Challengers Cup. It sends a widespread message to anybody that wants to become a professional player for PUBG Mobile Esports. If you ever dreamed about it, now is the chance. We just had a team being able to win it, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the year is going to be like.
Absolutely. I mean, imagine having this win under your belt, going back to your regional tournaments, being able to once again potentially qualify for PMGC now and going, we can do this. We've already done it at PMWC. We can do it again. What a feeling that must be.
Particularly amazing considering, yes, there were some circles that went their way, but at the same time, where did they really thrive? As we take a look at them now, walking over towards the totem here to completely solidify themselves here at the Esports World Cup. But as I'm saying, Max, not only central plays, also edge plays. This team had the full package here in the grand final.
Genuinely, despite us seeing them for the first time as this roster on the international stage, their edge play was the best, and it was not even close. They would find the path of least resistance in the circle every single time, while not losing a single player almost. They're making a statement that edge play is the way, and for them, it was enough to claim the title.
And it wasn't just the edge play, it's the way that they were able to just gain control of all the ground near them. They were either, if they were in the north, guess what? There was not going to be a team anywhere nearby.
Yeah.
Every single time we saw this team, they either had a 1-2-1 split, they had a 1-3, sometimes they would end up inverting them too if they found a position that was great for them. This is the adaptability that I'm talking about with this team. I'm hoping it continues on and even progresses going into the next global event.
I think a big marker for how good this team is watching the rest of the lobby adapt to them. They weren't going, oh, you're doing something, but actually we can get rid of that and make you change to us, right? No, it was the other way around. The rest of the lobby, all other 15 teams had to go, you know what? You're right. Have your space. We're going to do something else. They made these global teams change everything to suit them, and that is the mark of a dominant team.
And every player stood out in different ways. Say Cloud, the utility, the scouting was so impactful. Smile, the IGLing on the edge has been absolutely fantastic. Marnet, Romeo, always putting himself in danger for the greater good of the squad. Every player had their impact, and that is why they were crowned your PMWC champions.
And there we have Mike McCabe here, the COO of the Esports World Cup Federation, or the Foundation, and of course Yangon Galacticos now being able to position themselves here in front of the totem. It's a special sight as they will start ascending the totem. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, PMWC has not disappointed. And now we get to see as Yangon Galacticos will not only etch themselves in history, but etch themselves in Esports World Cup history as well here at PMWC. And for one more final time here, the dream has come true. Yangon Galacticos goes absolutely galactic here, live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. They are your PMWC champions! Magnificent scenes here from them, of course, to be able to put themselves in the history books. 7, what a performance.
What a performance indeed. Going from group stages, we thought that this squad was just going to be a surprise team.
Amazing stuff. Congratulations, your PMWC champions, Yangon Galacticos.